Chapter 282. Little Tong Tong, where are my pajamas? Lin Xian's arm came out of the bathroom. Wang Xintong quickly ran over and handed the pajamas to her. Hee. Lin Xian snickered, then put on the pajamas and walked out. I'm waiting for you. Lin Xian gave Wang Xintong a flirtatious look, then went to bed. Wang Xintong puffed up her cheeks adorably. Damn it. Couldn't he let her be a little more reserved? He even wanted her to go over. Lin Xian was playing a mobile game. After about 10 minutes, Wang Xintong walked in shyly and stood there looking at Lin Xian. Wang Xintong didn't know what to say. I'm so tired. Wang Xintong mumbled softly. Lin Xian glanced at Wang Xintong. Wow. How awkward. He actually forgot about that. Wang Xintong had been training for almost 2 days. How could he take her down in such a situation? After all, he was a considerate man. Moreover, to be honest, Lin Xian didn't want to take Wang Xintong down so early, because her current state made Lin Xian feel like he was taking advantage of her. He felt bad. Although this didn't fit the image of a scumbag, Lin Xian wasn't a scumbag to begin with. Alright, then you go to sleep. I'll take a nap too. Oh. Actually, Wang Xintong's words were said out of a girl's reserve. Even if Lin Xian really did something, she wouldn't resist. Lin Xian crawled into bed and put down his phone. He really didn't touch her. Lin Xian quickly fell asleep. Lin Xian really looked forward to such peaceful days. If one day, he no longer had to worry about hatred, no longer had to worry about survival, and could spend every day with the person he loved, how great would that be? However, he knew that even if Qin Xiaotian died, Dongfang Shui was still waiting for him on Earth. He had to work hard to reach the highest realm, step through the void, and return to Earth. Perhaps he had let Dongfang Shui down here. Or perhaps he was a scumbag to begin with. Lin Xian also knew this. He just wanted to go back and see if Dongfang Shui was still sad. If she was still waiting, then Lin Xian had to save her. Because at that time, he already had the ability to do so. There was a saying that was very true. The scariest thing was to meet the woman you wanted to protect for the rest of your life, when you were at your weakest. On Earth, Lin Xian was really in that situation. But at least here, Lin Xian couldn't let that happen again. It was already evening when he woke up. Lin Xian put on his clothes and looked at Wang Xintong, who was still fast asleep, with a faint smile on his face. She really was too tired, so she didn't wake up even after such a big commotion. After leaving Wang Xintong's house, Lin Xian returned to his own home, Ling Ying's of course. Big sister Linya, you're back. Lin Xian had just opened the door when Ling Ying, who was chopping vegetables in the kitchen, called out to him. It's not big sister Linya. It's your little brother who's back, Lin Xian said with a smile. Ling Ying walked out of the kitchen with a kitchen knife, and Lin Xian took a step back. Don't do what? Chop you. F*CK. How did I provoke you again? Lin Xian laughed, and then hugged Ling Ying's waist. How was the harvest? Ling Ying put the kitchen knife on the table and asked. Hee, it was quite a harvest. If you perform well tonight, I'll give you some. How do you want me to perform? Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. What do you think? Lin Xian laughed slyly. Get lost. Big sister Linya is home. Hee, little fairy is home, so I won't disturb you. Anyway, no way. Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian, and then stepped on Lin Xian's foot. What is this? Ling Ying suddenly stretched out her hand toward Lin Xian's neck, and then she pulled out a long strand of hair. Good for you. Get lost. Don't even think about getting on my bed. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian, and then walked into the kitchen angrily. Although on the surface she said that she didn't care about Lin Xian, and that she didn't care about him messing around outside, when she saw that Lin Xian had another girl's hair on his body, she was still jealous and angry. Lin Xian. F*CK. That seemed to be Wang Xintong's hair, right? F*CK. Daughters are really scary creatures. Little Ying. I don't know when it got there, but it's probably Linglong Shui's or Bingling Yue's. Lin Xian shamelessly said to Ling Ying. Yeah, you accidentally got it under your clothes? Lin Xian. This was a little awkward. I don't know when it got there. Lin Xian coughed dryly. Keep lying. It's true. I swear, I really didn't sleep with a girl. Lin Xian said with a sincere expression. Of course, Ling Ying didn't believe him. Bastard. Her hair was already in there. And he still said he didn't sleep with her? It's definitely a coincidence, I swear. If I sleep with another girl, I'll be with a man for the rest of my life. Ling Ying. F***ck. This vow is really vicious. Ling Ying glanced at Lin Xian. Although the possibility wasn't high, it was possible that it got there by coincidence. Since such a vicious oath had been made, Ling Ying didn't want to say anything more. Alright, I believe you. Hee, that's great. Lin Xian grinned. He wasn't wrong, he really didn't sleep with a girl. They just slept together. I'll help you, Lin Xian said with a smile. No need, you go rest, I'll do it. That won't do, isn't it tiring to work together? Lin Xian then helped Ling Ying. After about half an hour, Lin Ye returned home. Little Xian. Lin Ye was pleasantly surprised to see Lin Xian. She really hadn't seen Lin Xian for 2 days, and to be honest, she missed him so much. She really felt that she couldn't leave Lin Xian now, not the other way around. Little fairy, I missed you so much. Lin Xian then ran out and hugged Lin Ye as he spun her around. Ling Ying didn't think too much about it. The sisters had been together for so many years, and they relied on each other, so it was normal for them to have such a good relationship. She would never have thought that there was such a thing between the two of them. Put me down. Lin Ye's little face was red. She was already shy when there was no one around, let alone Ling Ying. It's okay, I didn't see anything. Ling Ying teased with a smile. Lin Ye then patted Lin Xian's shoulder, and Lin Xian let go of her. I missed you so much. If you missed me, why did you hang out outside all day and not go home? Lin Ye helped Lin Xian straighten his collar, and then slightly rolled her eyes. Hee, as a man, there must be something to do outside. That's to pick up girls. Ling Ying added another stab. Lin Xian. Really? I really want to have sex. It's a pity that I can't. Lin Ye said softly. Lin Xian. Chapter 283. Wow. Lin Ye had learned bad things from Ling Ying. She had also become naughty and learned how to add insult to injury. Go and rest. I'll help little Ying cook. Lin Ye said to Lin Xian. Lin Xian helped Lin Ye to the sofa and said with a smile. It should be little fairy. Go and rest. I'll help out. After saying that, Lin Xian walked into the kitchen with a smile. Lin Ye's heart was filled with sweetness. However, she still felt uncomfortable. This was Ling Ying's house. They were temporarily staying at Ling Ying's place. Ling Ying was in charge of cooking, but she was resting? Naturally, she felt bad about it. Then Lin Ye went over to help cook. Lin Xian said nothing. That was because she did not know the relationship between Lin Xian and Ling Ying. To Ling Ying, she could not wait to stay with them every day and help cook. This would definitely leave a good impression on Lin Ye. Then, she would really be Lin Xian's girlfriend. Even though she told Lin Xian that she didn't care about it at all, she cared too much about it. How many days has it been since you went to the Sky Marshal Court? Ling Ying could not help but ask while they were eating. Lin Xian thought for a while and said, Not that many days. That's true. The main thing is that the training in the Sky Marshal Court is not very useful to you now. Now that you've reached the same level as us in the advanced class, you should go out and train more often. Ling Ying nodded slightly. Hearing that Lin Xian was going to go out and train more often, Lin Ye's first reaction was of course worry. However, she did not say it out loud. There's still more than a week until the Sky Marshal Assembly. I'm still 2 stars away from reaching the Mystic Heaven Realm. What? 2 stars away from the Mystic Heaven Realm? Ling Ying's mouth was slightly agape. Wasn't he just a 7 stars Arcane Body Realm cultivator? They had entered the Deep Freeze Valley together. But he was already a 9th star Arcane Body Realm cultivator when he came out? Or did Lin Xian kill a powerful demonic beast in the Deep Cold Valley, leveling up from Arcane Body Realm 7 stars to Arcane Heaven Realm 9 stars, and 2 stars required a lot of experience points. Even killing a few Arcane Heaven Realm beasts would require a lot of experience points. Lin Xian nodded slightly. This was also the first time that Lin Ye had an understanding of Lin Xian's realm. She might not know about other things, but she was definitely clear about the levels. Almost reaching the mysterious heaven realm meant that he was about to become an expert. Who would have thought that little Xian's strength would increase so quickly? But as Lin Xian became more powerful, Lin Ye felt that she was becoming more and more useless. Make money. Lin Xian had casually earned tens of millions, but what about her? The company's annual profit was only that amount. She really felt that she was becoming less and less important to Lin Xian. She was becoming more and more meaningless. Ding. Feeling Lin Ye's disappointment. Scumbag value plus 30,000. Lin Xian, who was chatting with Ling Ying, heard the system notification. Then, he glanced at Lin Ye, who was silently eating, and understood something. Sigh. This little fairy always thinks too much. In this world, in Lin Xian's heart, the one with the highest status must be Lin Ye. What a pity. Even if I become stronger, it's still useless. How can that be? Ling Ying asked in confusion. Even if I become stronger, I still need little fairy to take care of me. I've never washed my own clothes or bed sheets. Even my underwear was washed by little fairy. I've been used to it for 21 years. From now on, I still need little fairy to take care of me every day, hee. Lin Xian said with a smile. Shameless. Lin Ye rolled her eyes at Lin Xian, but she was happy in her heart. Luckily, she was still useful to Lin Xian. Then, Lin Ye began to talk more. Lin Xian sighed in his heart. Lin Ye was really too good to him. His underwear was washed by Lin Ye. Sometimes, Lin Ye's clothes were washed by the washing machine, but Lin Xian's clothes were washed by her hands. Dare I ask, if you don't treat this kind of woman well, who would you treat well? This was also why Lin Xian had to take Lin Ye for himself. Even if it was selfish, he wanted her to be his. He couldn't bear to. You're 21 years old, but your underwear is washed by big sister Lin Ye. Aren't you ashamed? Ling Ying couldn't help but roll his eyes at Lin Xian. I like it. I'm lazy, and I don't like to wash. Why do you care? Lin Xian said proudly. Little Xian, little Ling is right. Ling Ye said softly. I don't care. I want you to wash. I don't know how to. Ling Ying. Ling Ying didn't understand Lin Xian's meaning. She just felt that Lin Xian was immature. Ling Ye went to work every day, and when she came back from the company, she had to wash his clothes, cook his meals, and clean his house. Wasn't she tired? Lin Xian was immature enough to let her wash his clothes. But in Ling Ying's understanding, although Lin Xian was sloppy, he wasn't an immature person. It was impossible for him to not think of this. To say that he didn't care about Lin Ye? That was even more impossible. Then Lin Xian must have his reasons. It had to be said that Ling Ying was also very smart. Lin Xian likes smart girls as his wives. Of course, she needed to be smart, but he didn't need her to be smart when it came to catching boys. That was the best. Then Ling Ying didn't continue to argue with Lin Xian, because she knew that Lin Xian must have his reasons. But thinking about it carefully, she could roughly guess what it was. It was actually very easy to guess. Moreover, before this, Ling Ye was eating silently. But after hearing Lin Xian's words, she became cheerful and laughed and chatted with them. After dinner, they sat in the living room and watched TV. They ate fruits after dinner and chatted happily. Even Lin Ye and Ling Ying were chatting very well. Instead, it was Lin Xian who couldn't join in. After all, they were about the same age. Lin Ye was only 1 or 2 years older than Ling Ying. Little Xian, go take a bath. I'll prepare the water for you. Lin Ye was used to serving Lin Xian. Really at home, Lin Xian's everything was done by Lin Ye. She was just like a mother. I'm not taking a bath. I've already taken a bath. You've already taken a bath? Lin Xian nodded. And I took a bath at our previous home. Why did you go there again? Lin Ye asked in surprise. To be honest, there are 2 girls living there now. Ling Ying should have guessed who the 2 girls were, but Lin Ye was shocked. Lin Xian brought 2 girls home? He even took a bath at home last night. Ahem, little fairy, you're thinking too much. They're my friends. It's just that for some reason, they haven't found a place to stay. Since our house is empty, I let them stay in our house. Didn't you say that our house is in danger? If we let them stay, wouldn't they be in danger too? Lin Ye asked, puzzled. Ling Ying helped at this time. Lin Ye, I know Lin Xian's 2 friends. They're very powerful. Regarding their safety, Lin Ye, you don't have to worry. Lin Ye nodded slightly. That's good. Chapter 284. That night, Lin Xian stayed in his room obediently. In fact, he could have used the power of space to enter Ling Ying's room. However, he did not do so, perhaps because he felt guilty that she had discovered the strand of hair. He wanted to go to Lin Ye's room, but he gave up in the end. He was not in a hurry anyway. There would be plenty of opportunities. The next morning, Lin Xian received a message from Lu Yufan. She had not seen Lin Xian for a few days. She felt that Lin Xian did not like her anymore. She spoke to Lin Xian with an aggrieved tone. After being comforted by Lin Xian, she heaved a sigh of relief. After all, girls in love were sensitive. After Lin Xian established their relationship, he did not spend much time with her. They only went shopping once. Little Ling Ying was very active. She usually liked to sleep in. For example, normal people woke up before 8 o'clock, but she slept until 8 o'clock. She was not too lazy. Even when she was with Lin Xian, she was still lazy. Usually Lin Xian would make breakfast. However, ever since Lin Yi moved in, she was basically the first to wake up to make breakfast. It was so real. Lin Xian yawned as he walked out of the room. He smelled a fragrance. Ling Ying had woken up earlier than Lin Ya. Good morning, little Ling Ying. Ling Ying replied with an N, feeling extremely displeased in his heart. She had waited for Lin Xian the whole night last night. She thought that this hooligan would come. However, he did not come. She even left the door ajar, but this guy did not come. That was why she was unhappy. That was why women were super strange creatures. It was really hard to understand a woman's thoughts. Lin Xian helped Ling Ying as he asked, "Have you been in the Sky Martial Court for the past 2 days?" Ling Ying nodded. "Yeah, I'm free. I'm in the Sky Martial Court. There are some things that Teacher Xiao would ask me to do." "Why? Do you know Qin Xiaoyan's whereabouts?" Ling Ying frowned. She did not know what the grudge between Lin Xian and Qin Xiaotian was, but she was sure that it was a huge grudge. "What are you trying to do?" "I'm just asking." Lin Xian needed to carry out the plan now. He only needed to take a picture of Qin Xiaotian committing a crime. Combined with the previous pictures, he would definitely be knocked down. However, it was difficult to carry out the plan. The most difficult part was that even if Lin Xian found the person who would carry out the plan for them, Qin Xiaotian would not take the bait. That was the problem. But perhaps this was the most likely time for him to achieve it, because the Heaven Martial Conference was about to begin. Qin Xiaotian would definitely want to shine in this Heaven Martial Conference, whether it was for his own reputation or for the qualifications to enter the God's Awakening door. So, normally speaking, he would need the strength of an ice element genius at this time. Therefore, anyway, he was in the Sky Martial Court yesterday. Ling Ying said, "Do you know if he's doing anything?" "Yes. Tonight, in the Sky Martial Court, or more accurately, in the Tianhua Academy, there will be a large-scale banquet. It's held once a year. He will be the male host, and will be there the whole time." Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. "What about the female host? You, or Han Chuxue?" "Yi. Her voice is more suitable. Moreover, I hate such occasions the most." Lin Xian muttered to himself. "Can I participate? You want to perform? That's not your style. Don't be anxious. I need to think about it." Lin Xian then walked into the living room and sat on the sofa, deep in thought. This might indeed be a chance to bait Qin Xiaotian. Moreover, it was a rare opportunity. If he could convince Wang Qianqian and let her use some method to release her ice-type power, which was different from ordinary people's, she would definitely attract Qin Xiaoyan's attention. Of course, he would have to let Wang Qianqian display the power of the arcane body stage. In that case, it was possible. As for this method, the simplest method was to let Wang Qianqian be the scene controller. After all, she only needed to release her ice-type power. In such a banquet, there were many scenes that did not need special effects. They only needed the fighter to release a certain type of power. This was also a very simple method. You just needed to see if there were any performances that required ice-type power. Moreover, it would be best if she could use her ice-type power to its fullest potential. Lin Xian then walked towards Ling Ying and asked, "I have a question. Are there any performances that require ice-type power or special effects tonight? No. Ling Ying shook her head. Then can you add another performance? I can, but the performance will start tonight. There's only daytime time. Will that be enough? Lin Xian. It's enough. So I'll have to trouble my wife. Ling Ying. Why did she have a bad feeling about this? What do you want to do? Go and perform a performance. Sing a song related to ice and snow. When the time comes, you'll be able to use the strength of an ice element warrior. Moreover, singing is the easiest part. You won't need much practice. Lin Xian said. Sing your sister's ass. Get lost. I don't show my face in public. Lin Xian rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Don't. Help me. It's very important. Lin Xian looked at Ling Ying with an aggrieved expression. Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian. If it was anyone else, she wouldn't help. However, if it was Lin Xian, she was speechless. But I need someone to share the stage with me. If I'm alone, I'll die. Share the stage? You can ask Han Chuxue. Aren't you good friends with her? Her? It's even more impossible for her. Moreover, I don't even know if she's going or not. Why don't? Ling Ying's beautiful eyes revealed a trace of craftiness. Then she looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian quickly took a step back. Why did he also have a bad feeling? You and me. Lin Xian. Big sister. I don't know how to sing. I'm tone deaf. Then I won't help you. Lin Xian. I'll give it a try. Actually, Ling Ying was really looking forward to her performance with Lin Xian. Mei Chuxue, do you know how to sing? I've heard of it. Then it's this song. I'll write the script in the morning, and we'll rehearse it in the afternoon. It'll be a musical. Moreover, this song is very artistic. Ling Ying was even a little excited. Lin Xian scratched his head. He didn't expect that there would be a day when he would perform a script in front of everyone. Right. I'll wear ancient clothes. Lin Xian. There's no need for that. Lin Xian pulled a long face. What do you know? For a musical like this, if you wear modern clothes, you'll look out of place. No, I'm just acting. I don't need such a good performance. But I want it. Okay. Lin Xian agreed helplessly. When the time comes, I'll get Sister Linya to come and watch. I'll see if I can get Han Chuxue to come to Tianhua Academy too. Right, do you want to get your two fairy sisters to come and watch? Actually, Ling Ying had her own selfish motives. She wanted to put on a show with Lin Xian, to tell these women that Lin Xian and Ling Ying's relationship was not ordinary. She wanted them to back off. Chapter 285. Lin Xian was taken aback by Ling Ying's request. Big sister, why are you asking them to come? I don't care. Since you want my help, you have to agree to it. Ling Ying said proudly. Since Lin Xian was going to act in the movie, Ling Ying believed that Lin Xian's female friends would definitely come to watch it. Alright. But I'm not sure if they'll come. Remember to come to the Sky Martial Court and rehearse with me in the afternoon. Alright. But I might not be able to act in the movie. I'll let you know when the time comes. Lin Xian was not sure if Wang Qianqian would help him or not. However, he believed that Wang Qianqian would. Moreover, Wang Qianqian was very suitable for Lin Xian's role. She kept a low profile and looked like she was only in her early 20s. Lin Xian only found out that she was 26 years old and that she was in the mystic heaven realm when he went to the Deep Freeze Valley for the second time. It was even more impossible for Qin Xiaotian to know about it. Alright. By the way, I hope that you can tell Qin Xiaotian about this. At the same time, if you can tell him that there will be an ice element genius as the scene controller for our musical. Remember, focus on the ice element genius and don't have a high cultivation base. Although Ling Ying did not know what Lin Xian was up to, since it was Lin Xian's business, she would definitely pay attention to it. I understand. Lingya then walked out of the room. Little Ling, I'll cook in the future. I'm really embarrassed to ask you to cook for me every day while I'm staying here. Linya said when she saw Ling Ying making breakfast. Big sister Linya, it's alright. I like to cook too. It's just that it's boring for me to cook for myself. Now that I can cook for all of you, I'm even more motivated. Besides, I'm just going to school so it's not tiring for me. You don't have to work so hard, Ling Ying said to Linya with a smile. Linya walked into the kitchen and helped out. Little Xian, go and rest. Little fairy, I want 3 pieces of pork tenderloin in my scallion pancakes, Lin Xian said with a smile. Got it. Linya gently knocked on Lin Xian's head. Then, Lin Xian walked out with a smile. Ling Ying was in the kitchen talking to Linya about tonight's performance. Of course Linya wanted to see it. Not only Ling Ying, but also Lin Xian. She had never seen Lin Xian perform before. No, Xiaoshuan's singing is terrible, Linya said faintly. Lin Xian, who was in the living room, heard Linya's words and blushed. He couldn't say it too harshly. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't be a problem to practice one song in half a day. Yes, I'll definitely be there at 7 p.m. After breakfast, Ling Ying went to the Sky Marshal Court. Linya went to work, and Lin Xian went to the Bounty Hunter Guild. Miao Xiaomiao had a good trait. Although she was young, she never lazed around in bed. When he arrived at the cafe, he saw Miao Xiaomiao sitting in a corner, coding, and Wang Qianqian grinding coffee. There was no one else. Usually, they were the only ones in charge of the cafe. Miao Jinghao would only come over when he was free. Little Miao Miao. Lin Xian's voice made Miao Xiaomiao tremble. Why are you here again? Miao Xiaomiao was happy, but she still looked disgusted. I'm here to see you. Wang Qianqian smiled. Lin Xian, you'll have a lot of opportunities in the future. Luckily, your house is not far from here. Ha ha ha, yes. Lin Xian smiled and walked towards Miao Xiaomiao. Do you want coffee? Yes, thank you, Sister Qianqian. Lin Xian sat next to Miao Xiaomiao and looked at the content on her computer. Why do you always come here? Do you have free time? Miao Xiaomiao glared at Lin Xian. I want to see if you care about me now. Lin Xian saw Miao Xiaomiao's face turn red. Ding! Sensed Miao Xiaomiao's shyness. Scumbag value plus 20,000. What do you mean now? It's never been now. Miao Xiaomiao said stubbornly. Wang Qianqian smiled and passed the coffee to Lin Xian. Yo, you're wearing long pants today. Lin Xian looked down and teased. Swoosh, Miao Xiaomiao's face turned red again. Bastard. Hearing Lin Xian's words reminded her of the day when Lin Xian took advantage of her. Get lost. Hee hee. I'm not talking to you anymore. Lin Xian ruffled her hair and walked towards Wang Qianqian. Miao Xiaomiao was used to Lin Xian ruffling her hair. She turned to look at Lin Xian, who was talking and laughing with Wang Qianqian at the counter, and felt extremely unhappy. Ding! Sensed Miao Xiaomiao's jealousy. Scumbag value plus 20,000. Lin Xian smiled in his heart as he looked at Wang Qianqian. Indeed, looking at her appearance, although she wasn't a great beauty, she was still a beauty. Moreover, her appearance was especially young, so Qin Xiaotian wouldn't be too suspicious. Sister Qianqian, I want to ask you for a favor. Wang Qianqian smiled. Just say it. If I can help, I'll definitely help. I have a musical at Tianhua Academy tonight. I want you to be the scene controller. You'll be responsible for releasing the ice attribute at key moments to freeze the stage. That's easy. Miao Xiaomiao perked up her ears to listen to their conversation. You want to sing? Lin Xian coughed dryly and nodded. Uffed. Miao Xiaomiao could not help but laugh. What are you laughing at? Miao Xiaomiao then came over and taunted. I want to watch. It'll be interesting to see you make a fool of yourself. Smack. Wang Qianqian saw Lin Xian smack Miao Xiaomiao's butt and could not help but laugh. These two people were actually quite compatible. Ding. Smacking a little sisters, but is considered a scumbag behavior. Scumbag value plus 300,000. Bastard. Miao Xiaomiao immediately pounced on him and greeted him with a flurry of punches. In the end, she was of course beaten down by Lin Xian. If you don't behave, I'll hit you again. Lin Xian pinched her pink cheeks. Miao Xiaomiao felt wronged and distanced herself from him. But she could still hear their conversation. Damn it. She could not beat him now. Boo-hoo. Really, Lin Xian was the first guy that Wang Qianqian had seen who could control Miao Xiaomiao. Is there anything else? Wang Qianqian asked. Lin Xian nodded. There's one more thing. And it's also very important to me. I need your help. Then Lin Xian roughly explained his plan. but he did not mention anything about Qin Xiaotian and Linya. You're saying that Qin Xiaotian can absorb ice attribute martial artist's cold energy? Miao Xiaomiao's cute brows furrowed, and then she came over. She definitely knew Qin Xiaotian. He was very famous in Tianhua City. Little brat, move aside. Don't interrupt when adults are talking. Miao Xiaomiao. Lin Xian, if you have the guts, come with me to the arena and I'll beat you to death. Miao Xiaomiao put her hands on her hips and glared at Lin Xian. You can beat me? Lin Xian raised his hand, and Miao Xiaomiao subconsciously covered her butt and retreated. All right, I can't beat him. And I'll be beaten by this pervert. Chapter 286. Wang Qianqian frowned as she pondered over Lin Xian's words. I know what you mean. I can help you. It's just a small matter. I just hope that what you said is true. Of course, when Qin Xiaotian absorbs your frost energy, you'll know whether it's true or not. I have a grudge against him, so I want to tear off his mask. Lin Xian said seriously. Wang Qianqian nodded. Okay, I'll help you. As for the plan, you can tell me when the time comes. Lin Xian said. The plan can actually be carried out tonight. You've displayed the frost energy of the arcane body realm, so you'll definitely be on his radar. I just hope that you can keep yourself simple for the next 2 days, Sister Qianqian. I'm usually very simple. Wang Qianqian smiled. Lin Xian smiled. Yes, that's what I mean. Then I'll deliberately go to a remote place and let him follow me. Lin Xian nodded. That's roughly what I mean. The main thing is that I have to take a picture of the evidence. Your arcane body realm can definitely protect you, but it'll be difficult to catch him. I don't want to catch him now. Okay, I understand. Leave it to me. Wang Qianqian said. Love you, Sister Qianqian. Miao Xiaomiao was speechless. Love your head. Miao Xiaomiao rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Wang Qianqian smiled and went to grind the coffee. In the morning, Lin Xian stayed here and made a detailed plan with them. However, no matter how detailed the plan was, it had to be based on the premise that Qin Xiaotian would make a move. Lin Xian had already tried his best to increase the possibility of this happening. He felt that the possibility was very high, because the Tianmu conference was very important to Qin Xiaotian. At this moment, Ling Ying had been planning the script in the backyard of the villa. Of course, the script wasn't about lines because there weren't any. It only needed a few voiceovers, but it was very simple. The script was only about their appearances and interactions. Ling Ying was even looking forward to the scene where he and Lin Xian would perform. What are you doing? Qin Xiaotian walked over and was surprised to see Ling Ying writing and drawing on Han Chushua's seat. Ling Ying appeared to be very indifferent. He said softly, Oh, writing a script. Script? Qin Xiaotian sat beside Ling Ying and deliberately moved closer to her. However, he maintained a distance that was acceptable to both of them. You want to perform? Yeah, I've already told them to add a musical. I guess it'll be the last one. Not bad. Your show is the finale. It will definitely make everyone want to stay until the end. Ling Ying thought for a moment and said, This is a musical about snow and ice. When the time comes, we will need ice attribute martial artists to set up the scene. Do you have any ice attribute friends you can recommend? Ling Ying looked at Qin Xiaotian. Qin Xiaotian smiled and said, I can help you. No, you have to be the host. It's too troublesome. If it doesn't work, there's still Miss Xiao. She's also of the ice attribute. Qin Xiaotian said. He was very clear about who was of the ice attribute. Miss Xiao. I don't want to trouble her either. There's also Han Chuxue. Qin Xiaotian said. Han Chuxue. Her condition hasn't been good recently. Ling Ying said softly. Qin Xiaotian didn't say anything. Right, I remember now. Ling Ying suddenly thought of something and asked Qin Xiaotian. Can an ice attribute martial artist of the arcane body realm do it? How many stars of the arcane body realm? 7-star or 8-star? More or less. It mainly depends on whether her control of the ice attribute is strong or not. Qin Xiaotian said. I remember that she's an ice attribute genius. It's just that her realm isn't high, but her control of the ice attribute is very strong. Ling Ying began to deliberately reveal this information to Qin Xiaotian. Sure enough, Qin Xiaotian raised his eyebrows slightly. Yes. I got it. I'll leave first. Then, Ling Ying ran away with an excited look. An ice attribute genius of the arcane body realm. Qin Xiaotian's eyes flashed with a trace of sinister light. That's right, he was indeed in a period where he needed strength. His ice attribute ability was still a little bit away from reaching the next level. Moreover, the Sky Martial Assembly was just around the corner. He didn't have much confidence in his own strength, because there were many geniuses in the 3 great academies in Tianhua City. He might not even be able to defeat the Sky Martial Court's Ling Ying, let alone Han Chuxue. Therefore, he urgently needed to improve himself. There were only a few ice attribute geniuses in Tianhua City that he knew, and they were even stronger than him. How could he possibly fight them? However, according to Ling Ying, she had a friend who was an ice attribute genius of the arcane body realm. Wasn't that what he needed? If possible, this would definitely be Qin Xiaotian's goal. As for whether it was true or not, Qin Xiaotian felt that this was a good opportunity. If she could come over tonight to help Ling Ying set up the ice attribute scene, he would be able to see whether she was strong or not. Even if she wasn't strong, an ice attribute of the arcane body realm would be enough for him to absorb. Moreover, he was in the arcane heaven realm, so he wouldn't be in any danger. He would never have thought that this was Ling Ying's plan. At that moment, Lin Xian was having lunch at the Gale Mercenaries Cafe. Miao Jinghao was having lunch with his old friend. Wang Qianqian and Lin Xian had cooked the meal together. As for Miao Xiaomiao, she only knew how to eat. Lin Xian had basically told Wang Qianqian about the plan, so of course he trusted them. Halfway through the meal, Lin Xian's phone rang. The caller ID surprised Lin Xian. It was Linglong Shui. Hello Xiao Linglong. Lin Xian smiled and answered the call. On the other end, Linglong Shui paused for a few seconds then said softly, Lend me some money. Lin Xian. Really, Lin Xian was dumbfounded for a second. The next second he almost burst out laughing. Linglong Shui wanted to borrow money from him. Ha ha ha. What was even more shocking was that the two of them had a few $100,000. It was only the first day. She had already spent all the money she wanted to borrow from him? It couldn't be, right? No, big sister. How about a few $100,000? Have you spent it all? Linglong Shui and Bing Linghua didn't understand. Anyway, they just bought whatever they liked. Then, they went to a luxurious place for lunch and ate a lot of good food. But when it was time to pay, the front desk told them that they didn't have enough money. They were stunned. They didn't have much of a concept of money. Anyway, if Lin Xian gave them money, they would just spend it. Why was it all gone? Or did Lin Xian give them too little? But at that time, they remembered that Lin Xian said it was a lot, and that it could be spent for a long time. I don't know. Linglong Shui said lightly. Did you buy something expensive? Damn, a few $100,000 is gone in a day. That's enough for me to spend for a few years. Lin Xian couldn't help but say. Borrow money. Linglong Shui said again. Wait for me, I'll go over. Lin Xian put down the phone. Chapter 287. After putting down the phone, Lin Xian shook his head secretly. How old were they? How could they still be detained? However, he was more amused, thinking about how one of them was at the absolute virtual realm, and the other was about to reach it, and how the two noble and beautiful girls were being embarrassed, because they didn't have the money to pay. It was hilarious. In fact, they could have used the space attribute and run away, but they had to follow the rules. They had to live according to the rules. What's wrong? Miao Xiaomiao asked curiously. Those two goddesses don't have the money to pay, so I'm going to save them. Of course, they knew who the two goddesses Lin Xian was talking about were. How could such awesome people not have the money to pay? It was indeed funny when they thought about it. I'm leaving. Lin Xian waved his hand. Hey, you finished eating already? Miao Xiaomiao shouted. And Lin Xian was already out the door. Bastard! Miao Xiaomiao cursed silently. There were two beauties on her side, and there were two beauties on the other side. Lin Xian chose the other side, so of course he was angry. Pissed, Lin Xian hailed a cab and went to the place where the two girls were eating, Zuixuan restaurant. Damn! No wonder they don't have the money to pay. 2 people eating lunch in a 5-star hotel is quite amazing. But it should be enough. Lin Xian shook his head and walked in. As soon as Lin Xian entered, he saw the 2 beautiful ladies standing at the front desk. Lin Xian. Seeing Lin Xian, Bing Lingyue turned her head and greeted him. Ling Longshui also looked over. Although she didn't have much of an expression on her face, it was obvious that she was slightly happy. At that moment, all eyes were on Lin Xian. How much? Lin Xian took out his phone and asked. The lobby manager, Chen Xiaohua, glanced at Lin Xian before moving his eyes away. He knew that Lin Xian didn't have much money when he saw the tag on him. Ladies, our young master said that the meal just now would be a treat for the 2 of you. Young master is on the 3rd floor, and he hopes that the 2 of you can come over for a few drinks. They didn't eat much, only 80,000, but their beauty was shocking. At first, they didn't notice it, but when the eldest young master of Drunken Pavilion noticed it, he couldn't control his heart anymore. These 2 women must be obtained. One meal was only tens of thousands of yuan. So what if he gave them 100 meals? Therefore, he specially asked the lobby manager to bring them up, who knew that these 2 people would not go up. They insisted on paying, and said that they were waiting for someone. The person was finally here, but she was wearing clothes that cost a few thousand RMB? To be honest, a set of clothes that cost a few thousand yuan was nothing. I said, how much is it? Hurry up, pay up and we'll leave. Lin Xian frowned. Young master. They were definitely 2 rich young masters who had taken a liking to them. Lin Xian couldn't be bothered to waste time with them. It would be better if he went and flirted with these 2 beautiful young ladies. 80,000. Lin Xian took out his phone, scanned it and paid the bill. Let's go. Lin Xian said to Ling Longshui and the rest. Chen Xiaohua was slightly stunned. He paid 80,000 just like that without hesitation? Then what about the mission his young master gave him? Hey, please wait a moment. Chen Xiaohua called out to them. Is there anything else? Chen Xiaohua smiled bitterly and walked over. Then he handed Lin Xian a card. He could see that this youth, who didn't seem to have any outstanding aspects, seemed to be able to speak in front of these 2 women. This is our store's black card. You can use this card to make 3 purchases, and there will be a 50% discount later. If that's the case, then can we waive the 80,000 just now? Of course. Then, Chen Xiaohua transferred 80,000 to Lin Xian. Thank you. Come again next time. Lin Xian smiled. Unless he was an idiot, he didn't want free money. Chen Xiaohua. Hey ladies. His purpose was to make them stay. Why did they leave? Is there anything else? Chen Xiaoya invites the 2 ladies to have a drink. No need. At this time, a handsome man in a suit walked over with a smile. Why are you leaving so quickly? Stay for a few drinks and make friends. Chen Qing walked over with a smile and looked at Ling Longshui and the rest. Sorry, it's okay to make friends, but my wife is tired today. Let's talk about it next time. Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue frowned slightly, but they quickly relaxed. Although they were unhappy that Lin Xian took advantage of them, they knew what Lin Xian wanted, so they didn't argue with him. It was better to be in the monster race. There were not so many rules. They could just snatch whatever they liked. However, without rules nothing could be accomplished. They still understood this principle. Wife. Which one? Both of them. Lin Xian smiled, and walked away with his arms around the waists of the 2 girls. The 2 women subconsciously wanted to kill Lin Xian, but they controlled themselves. Lin Xian was just putting on an act, even though he was extremely unhappy about it. But if they pushed him away, it would be another round of words. Endure it. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was overjoyed. These 2 slender waists, oh my god. Ding. Hugging left and right is the behavior of a scumbag. Scumbag man value plus 1 million. Ding. Sensing Ling Longshui's extreme displeasure. Scumbag man value plus 100,000. Ding. Sensing Bing Lingyue's extreme displeasure. Scumbag man value plus 100,000. Crack. Chen Cheng crushed the cup in his hand. Who is this kid? How could he have 2 women as beautiful as fairies? Impossible. This must be an act. But even if it was an act, it was enough to show that their relationship was not ordinary. Go and investigate this person, Chen Qing said to the people beside him. No matter who it was, these two women were of a level that he had never seen before. Even his dream lover, Han Chuxue, was still slightly inferior compared to them. You must get them. Can you let go now? Ling Longshue's cold voice came from the side. Lin Xian could feel the temperature suddenly drop. Sure, they are still watching. I will let go when they can't see me anymore. Lin Xian whispered. Let go. He couldn't bear to. We can't turn this way. There was a road next to them, and Lin Xian wanted to walk straight ahead. Ling Longxue and Bing Lingyue felt that something was wrong. No, there are a lot of hooligans on this road. We have to turn at the road in front. In the next moment, Ling Longxue broke free from Lin Xian's hand. She was furious. Pervert. Bing Lingyue also broke free. Ugh. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose awkwardly. Smart women were not easy to fool. Hey, you are wrong. I came all the way here to help you out. Is this how you treat me? Isn't it because you lied to us? Bing Lingyue also looked at Lin Xian unhappily. Lin Xian was innocent. Me? How did I lie to you? You said it was a lot of money. Why is it gone in a day? Chapter 288. Lin Xian also wanted to know, how did they spend it all in one day? Let me tell you, the money I gave you is enough for me to eat, drink, and play for a year. God knows how you spent it all in one day. What did you do? They saw that Lin Xian seemed to be quite sincere. Bing Lingyue said softly, nothing much. We played for the whole morning, ate some food, bought some clothes and some jewelry. Lin Xian's heart trembled when he heard that they bought jewelry. Jewelry was the most expensive thing to do. They didn't know anything about jewelry. Of course, they would buy the good-looking ones. How could the good-looking ones be cheap? A small ring the size of a fingernail might cost more than 100,000 yuan. What jewelry? Let me see. Then, the two girls obediently extended their fair wrists. 2 bracelets. When Lin Xian saw the material of the bracelets, he understood something. Sisters, do you know how much these 2 bracelets cost? Although they looked really good wearing them, Lin Xian's heart was bleeding. However, he couldn't blame them. Lin Xian didn't have the right to blame them. According to the price that Ling Longxue gave Lin Xian, he could buy a box of these expensive bracelets. However, Lin Xian, who had always been stingy, felt the pinch. At most, he could sell something and get a few tens of millions. He could let them spend it. However, he couldn't spend it like this. The 2 girls shook their heads. These 2 little things are enough for an ordinary family in Tianhua City to live a normal life for 3 years. Lin Xian said. The 2 girls were speechless. Of course, I don't blame you. You don't understand. Lin Xian continued. In the future, when you buy things, look at the price. Don't even think about it if it's above 5 digits, okay? If you give me money, I'll give you whatever you need. Ling Longxue said domineeringly. To think that she, Ling Longxue, the empress of a country, would be troubled by money. What a joke. Lin Xian coughed dryly. Then give me something. I'll sell it for some money. Exquisite Snow stretched out her hand, and 3 black needles that were installed in a transparent device appeared in her palm. What is this? Lin Xian asked curiously. It's a spirit artifact that can kill someone at the law realm with a single needle. The Heaven's Wrath Needle. Lin Xian's heart trembled. Killing someone at the law realm with a single needle? This thing was hundreds of times more explosive than the true flame-bursting bullet. So exaggerated? You want to try? This kind of thing was useless against Ling Longxue, but it was useful against Lin Xian and the others. No, I won't try. As expected, Ling Longxue was a treasure. I also have a lot of treasures, but they are all in the mausoleum, and I didn't bring them out. I don't know where the mausoleum is now. Bing Lingyue said softly. You gave it to me? I want money. Ling Longxue said. Okay. A few 100,000, or even a few million, would not be enough to spend. Lin Xian was chatting with Ling Ying this morning, and he heard that there would be a large auction in Tianhua City in the afternoon. Auctioning something would be worth at least 10 million, right? Give it to me. Ling Longxue stretched out her hand. Lin Xian only had a few million on him, and the money he earned was with Linya. Lin Xian said, I'll help you sell it, and then I'll give you the money. Together. Lin Xian. What the F asterisk CK? Together? Wouldn't that expose him? If they insisted, Lin Xian could only sell the Heaven's Wrath needle. He couldn't bear to. However, it should be enough for him to keep one of these things. Okay, let's go together. Let's go. After saying that, Lin Xian subconsciously wanted to hug the two women's waists, but his hands were frozen. Empress, please spare me, Lin Xian said helplessly. Humph. Bing Lingyue snorted coldly, and then dispersed her power. Sigh. I raise you guys every day, but I still have to be bullied by you. I'm so pitiful. Lin Xian sighed. First, you didn't raise us. The money you gave us was from the treasure Linglong gave you. This is what we deserve. Second, we bullied you because you asked for it. Bing Lingyue said honestly. Lin Xian said, then I'll take you out to shop, familiarize you with Tianhua City, and make you delicious food. When something happened to you, I rushed over immediately. Xiao Linglong's treasure was also exchanged by me. No matter what, I've done for you, right? Tell us how to exchange money, and you won't have to run errands anymore. Linglong Shui said lightly. Lin Xian. Damn. If that's the case, I won't be able to cheat them of their treasures. Hee. But it's my honor to be able to run errands for you two beauties. Then, the three of them really chatted all the way until they arrived at the auction site. The auction site was on the 20th floor of the Bounty Hunter Guild. It was a place that could accommodate tens of thousands of people. Today, the area below the Bounty Hunter Guild was indeed packed with people. It was not easy to squeeze to the 20th floor. Those people took their tickets and entered the auction site. Lin Xian and the rest could not enter without a ticket, but there were other ways. This little sister. Lin Xian walked up to the ticketing lady and grinned. Sir, is there anything I can help you with? Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue were used to being secretly watched by many people. It's like this, I have something that I want to auction. I'm really sorry, but today's auction has been fixed, so. Lin Xian smiled and said, everything can be discussed. Please help me contact the person in charge. I can guarantee that the item I'm going to auction is definitely rare in the world. Perhaps you can get a handsome reward too. This, the lady hesitated for a moment, then nodded and left after informing the two ladies beside her. After about 5 minutes, she came back. Sir, please follow me. Lin Xian said to the two ladies. Wait for me in the room next door. I'll be right there. After that, Lin Xian followed the lady to a room on the 24th floor. It's in there. Thank you. After that, Lin Xian knocked on the door, pushed it open and walked in. Inside there were two old men sitting there drinking tea and chatting. Lin Xian looked at them and realized that they were familiar faces. Lin Xian. Miao Jinghao looked at Lin Xian and was slightly stunned. Grandpa Miao. Oh, Jinghao, you know him? Miao Jinghao smiled and said, Changtian, this is the little guy that I always talk to you about. Zhang Changtian looked at Lin Xian and smiled. Oh, it's you. Come take a seat. I've heard Jinghao mention you many times, but I've never had the chance to meet you. At that time, the Bounty Hunter Guild wanted to recruit you with the other two guilds. Jinghao told us about your intentions, so the Bounty Hunter Guild did not go. Lin Xian smiled and took a seat at the side. Lin Xian, this is the Bounty Hunter Guild's Tianhua City badge, Zhang Changtian. He's an old friend of mine. Miao Jinghao introduced. Chapter 289. The president of the Bounty Hunter Guild in Tianhua City was an old friend of Miao Jinghao's. It seemed that the Miao family was indeed extraordinary. Hello, senior. Ha, there's no need to call me that. If you don't mind, you can also call me Grandpa Zhang. Zhang Changtian laughed. Being able to build a good relationship with such a young man would be of great benefit to him. Lin Xian smiled but did not say anything. Damn it. Even an old man wants to take advantage of me. Call your sister. Lin Xian, what's the matter? Miao Jinghao asked. It's like this. I want to auction something, but unfortunately, it's already been reserved. I wanted to see if I could add one more today, so I came over. So you're the one who said that the auction item is rare. What is it? I'm very curious about what rare item it is. Ha. Zhang Changtian laughed loudly. In fact, he did not believe it. Rare item? How was that possible? However, Miao Jinghao knew something. The medicine that Lin Xian had taken out at Yi Yi's birthday party could already be considered as a rarity in the world. However, the news had been blocked by Yi Yi's father. It's this. Lin Xian took out the Heaven's Wrath needles. Of course, he only took out one of them. He had heard from Linglong Shui that he could not take it with his bare hands. Otherwise he would die. Lin Xian was, of course, carrying one of the packages of the Heaven's Wrath needles that Linglong Shui had. Oh, this needle is called the Heaven's Wrath needle. Its function is very simple. One needle can instantly kill a Law Realm cultivator. Miao Jinghao and Zhang Changtian looked at each other. Then, Zhang Changtian could not help but laugh. Ha ha ha, you're quite interesting, kid. Senior, you don't believe me? Zhang Changtian laughed. It's not that I don't believe you. Killing a Law Realm cultivator with one needle. As far as I know, there hasn't been such a heaven-defying spiritual weapon in this world. It's already heaven-defying enough to kill a mysterious Heaven Realm cultivator with the power of a spiritual weapon. President Zhang, do you have strength above the Law Realm? Lin Xian asked. Zhang Changtian's smile froze, and then he said, 8 stars of the Law Realm, what's the matter? Then President Zhang, you can try pinching the Heaven's Wrath needle with your bare hands. It won't be too late to express your opinion then. Zhang Changtian looked at Miao Jinghao and saw him nod. He then took the needle of Heaven's Wrath and took it out of the transparent box. When the small box was opened, he revealed a horrified expression. This thing can actually emit such a strong spiritual energy as soon as it is opened. With that, he picked up the Heaven's Wrath needle. How is it? Miao Jinghao asked. It's not an ordinary item, but I don't know if it can instantly kill a Law Realm cultivator. Zhang Changtian returned the needle to its original position. Then, Zhang Changtian looked at Lin Xian and said, this needle is indeed not weak, but it can be said to be heaven-defying in the Law Realm. Not to mention that this little fellow can instantly kill a Law Realm expert. It can't even break through a Law Realm expert's defensive chi barrier, right? Lin Xian said, this needle can ignore any defensive energy barrier. It can even ignore the defensive energy barrier of a Grand Dominion Realm cultivator. As long as it hits, it will die. Although they were shocked, they maintained their rationality. But we still don't know if this needle can instantly kill a Law Realm expert. If we don't know, we can't auction it. Can we use it? Lin Xian shook his head. It's a one-time use item. Then, that's not good. You only have this one? There's one more. Can we test it out with one? Lin Xian thought about it. There were 3 needles in total, so selling one should be enough for the time being. If he wasted one, then so be it. In any case, there would be plenty of treasures when the time came. The main thing was to gain the trust of Linglong Shui and the others. Otherwise, Lin Xian would not be willing to auction off such a precious item. At most, he would buy some pills. Sure, but it should be more convincing if we use it on the spot. Lin Xian said, that's fine too. Although they still did not believe that such a heaven-defying item existed, Lin Xian had no reason to lie to them. It would not benefit him either. Moreover, using it on the spot would be the best way to prove it. If it did not work, they could just withdraw it and not auction it. After that, Lin Xian gave another needle to Zhang Changtian and said, remember, when the time comes, you must let a Domain Realm cultivator receive this needle. Otherwise, even a 10-star Law Realm cultivator will die. Sure. Take this, you can enter the VIP room. Zhang Changtian threw a badge to Lin Xian. If this thing was real, entering the VIP room to watch the whole thing would be normal. After that, Lin Xian walked away. Zhang Changtian looked at the 2 Heaven's Wrath needles in confusion. Jinghao, do you think that this kid is telling the truth? It should be true. He does have many heaven-defying items on him that we can't understand. I've also heard that he has a medicine that can directly increase a person's attribute power by a few %. This is true. What? Zhang Changtian was shocked. But we still have to give it a try. But we must listen to him and let a Domain Realm cultivator receive it. And, if it's true, this kid has a big background. When Lin Xian went over, The door of the room where the two girls were in was already surrounded by a lot of people. What are you looking at? Disperse. Lin Xian then pushed open the door and shouted, Come out. Wow. Is this a fairy? Oh my god. It's really true. She's really too beautiful. She's coming, she's coming. In the next moment, those people opened up a path for him. Miss, please bring us to the VIP room. Lin Xian took out the badge, and the young lady revealed a surprised expression. Then, she quickly said, Please follow me. The three of them were brought in. The scale of this auction was really shocking. The entire place was in a circle, and there were at least 10,000 people sitting and standing. Moreover, there were no empty seats. In the middle was the auction area. There were 4 big screens that allowed them to see very clearly. A few VIP rooms were at the top of the area, allowing them to see the whole place clearly. They were led into a private room with some wine and fruits inside. Ah! Lin Xian lay on it and waited for the auction to begin. How much can it sell for? Ling Longshui asked. I don't know either. But only one was auctioned. What about the rest? There's another one. They didn't believe me just now, so I asked them to demonstrate it. There's another one that needs to be demonstrated in front of everyone, so it's gone. Lin Xian said. Damn it. He had to trick them. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to keep the other one. Ding. Deceiving miss, scumbag value plus 200,000. Why do you need to demonstrate it? Ling Longshui asked, puzzled. How should I put it? In our human world, this kind of spiritual weapon that can instantly kill a law realm expert doesn't exist. If you just tell them verbally, they definitely won't believe it. Only by using it on the spot will they believe it. The other one needs to be convincing to so many people present. Otherwise, they won't believe it and won't dare to auction it. But don't worry, even if there's only one, it'll definitely sell for a lot of money. It'll be enough for you to spend for a while. Ling Longshui didn't have much doubt and nodded slightly. At this moment, a beautiful young lady in a cheongsam walked up to the auction stage in the center. Chapter 290. In the private room, the people outside couldn't see inside, but they could clearly see the outside. If they didn't want to, they could watch it on the big screen in the private room. And the effect of watching it on the big screen was also very good. Lin Xian and the others were lying comfortably on the sofa, watching the situation on the big screens. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this auction. There are a total of 20 items in this auction. I believe that all of you have come prepared. However, due to some special circumstances, we will be adding an additional item to the auction. This item has been appraised, and we will place it as the finale of the auction. The young lady's words caused everyone to exclaim. There was even an extra item for the finale. Lin Xian didn't have much interest in this auction anyway. If he wanted martial skills, he had them. If he wanted spirit weapons, he had them. In an auction like this, how many items on the market could he be interested in? There was no such thing as a normal person. It wasn't that Lin Xian was arrogant, but that the items that they sincerely admired and thought were good, in Lin Xian's eyes, couldn't compare to the scumbag system's reward, or to Lin Xian's scam from Ling Longshui. Alright, let's not waste any more time. Let's start with the first item. Then, a young lady came up with an unknown item covered with a red cloth, and placed it in front of the beauty. She then pulled the red cloth away. This is a Mystic 5-star sword. Mystic 5-star swords aren't that rare on the market, but this sword contains the power of lightning. Every time it's swung, there'll be a trace of lightning energy, causing some extra strength. Its true strength is around Mystic 6-star. I believe there are many warriors who lack a sword like this. Starting price, 3 million. Each increment must be no less than 300,000. Begin. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. Mystic 5-star, starting price of 3 million. Normally, this kind of hot item would be sold for at least twice the starting price. So, this sword would normally be sold for more than 6 million. It was so F***king profitable. Any random item on Lin Xian's body, such as a blood spirit pill, would be worth at least 10 million. But he didn't want to sell it. This kind of item was related to his life. If he had one more pill, he would have a higher chance of survival. Why would he sell it? He wouldn't sell it even if he died. He didn't even have enough, so why would he sell it? In the end, this mystic 5-star weapon was sold for 7,300,000. The second item. How much did you give us last time? Ling Longshui asked. Lin Xian coughed dryly and said, We gave you tens of millions. How much is the Heaven's Wrath Needle? It's probably around 10 million. Heavens, heavens, heaven. Lin Xian. No, it's mainly because the 2 bracelets that the 2 of you bought added up to tens of millions. Is that? Bing Ling Longshui, S's. They didn't know how expensive it. They didn't know how expensive it to them. Lin Xian nodded and let out a long sigh. It was not good to lie. One after another, one to cover up the other. Lin Xian had only given 400,000. But they didn't know how much Lin Xian had given. They only heard Lin Xian say that he had given a lot. 400,000 was really a lot. Who knew it would be all spent in one day? One item after another was sold. The 20 items would probably be sold for more than 100 million. Now let's begin the auction for the 20th item. Then she took out a plate. On it was an ancient-looking parchment scroll. 3 days ago, 3 thunderous Retribution Realm experts went to Evil Wind City, which is 800 kilometers away, for training, and they accidentally obtained it. It's a parchment scroll that has a history of at least 500 years. This sentence made everyone exclaim. Evil Wind City, they went to Evil Wind City. Thunder Retribution Realm cultivators dare to go there? Lin Xian was secretly speechless. To be precise, Evil Wind City was once a human city. After it was attacked by demonic beasts, the demonic beasts rebuilt it, and it became their city. There were many demonic beasts that had transformed into human forms. It was equivalent to a demonic beast city. Those who dared to go there were really bold. Reckless. Ling Longshui grumbled. Hey, you demonic beasts are allowed to wander around our human territory. But we're going to your demonic beast city to wander around? That's called reckless. Lin Xian said unhappily. If Thunder Retribution Realm cultivators dare to go near Evil Wind City, they'll be lucky to come back alive. Ling Longshui said. However, since you were able to remain undiscovered in the human world, would I be able to remain undiscovered if I were to go to Monster Wind City? Lin Xian asked in astonishment. Since there were so many transformed demonic beasts, who would know if he was a human or a transformed demonic beast? Yes, but the premise is that you don't release any power. Otherwise, you'll be instantly recognized as not a demonic beast. Didn't you release your power in our human world before? Why can't I feel any demonic chi from your power? Lin Xian asked curiously. Because of my realm. When you reach my realm, you can hide your aura. Ling Longshui released a slight aura again. Lin Xian frowned. As expected, this is the Void Fox's aura. An aura that doesn't belong to humans. If I don't hide my aura and release my power in your human world, I'll be discovered long ago. But you won't. You can't do it. That's true, but if I don't release my aura, I can also survive there. No, it won't because of the smell on your body. Allah. Demonic beasts' sense of smell is generally hundreds of times more advanced than humans. They can smell the human smell on your body. Lin Xian. D***. Weren't demonic beasts much stronger than humans in terms of starting point? No wonder demonic beasts would pounce on a human when they went out and attack them without considering whether they were demonic beasts or humans, because they could smell the human's aura. Then what do you smell on my body? What does the smell of humans smell like to you demonic beasts? Ling Longshui frowned slightly and said coldly, boring. Smell it. Stinky. Lin Xian. Nonsense. I just took a shower yesterday. 'Tis really stinky. Lin Xian. I really want to smack her butt. Then, Lin Xian's attention was focused on the girl again. According to our research, this is a sheepskin map, and there's a seal on it. We need to find the other half of the map to complete it. In other words, this sheepskin map must have not been found by others yet. It has unlimited possibilities. So we're putting this map as the 20th item that's close to the finale of the auction. Chapter 291. A treasure map that had yet to be found? This had piqued Lin Xian's curiosity. This kind of unknown thing was the best. It was like chasing a goddess. Once you got her, the process of falling in love with her was the best. After marriage, it was not as good. It was the same principle, because it was from a long time ago. And in that era, everyone clearly knew that it wasn't an era where everyone practiced martial arts. Only a very small portion of people could practice martial arts. There were definitely many treasures in that era, and they were all very precious. Perhaps this parchment scroll hid an extremely great treasure. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been hidden like this, and even split the map into two. Therefore, we are sure that this parchment scroll hides a great secret. That is why it is being auctioned. At this time someone asked, if it is divided into two, without the other half, it is just a piece of paper. What's the use of auctioning it? Do we expect to find the other half in the vast planet Aqua Blue? Isn't that a joke? Yes, yes. Everyone agreed. The beauty smiled and said, first, the treasure map corresponds to opportunities. Those who are fated will get it. Second, if you don't like it, you don't have to bid. That's all I have to say. The starting price of this parchment scroll is 1 million. And each bid must be at least 100,000. As her voice fell, the whole place was silent. No one made a bid. Yes, spending 1 million to buy a useless parchment scroll. Who knew where the other half was? Maybe it was not born yet. Maybe it was buried somewhere in the demonic beast territory. They would never get it in their lifetime. Wasn't this just buying a piece of paper? To expect to meet the other half? What was the difference between this and buying a lottery ticket? 1,100,000. At this time, a voice that Lin Xian felt was slightly familiar came from a private room. It's him. Bing Lingyue heard the voice and recognized it immediately. Wasn't this the voice of Chen Cheng, who wanted to flirt with them in the morning? Powerful people like them were very good at details. They heard the same voice in the morning, and now they heard it again. It was easy for them to recognize it. It's him. Then the voice sounded again. It's fine to spend more than 1 million to buy a gamble. Lin Xian pressed a button and said calmly, 1,200,000. Oh. The others felt that it was too exaggerated. How could anyone snatch such an illusory item? Chen Cheng's voice sounded again. Brother, are you trying to snatch this little thing? Lin Xian smiled and said, I have the same idea as you. If I'm lucky enough to find the other half, wouldn't I make a killing? Ha ha ha. This young master's luck has always been pretty good. So I feel that this kind of thing should be left to this young master. 1,500,000. Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. 2 million. This made everyone feel astonished. Could it be that they all knew where the other half was? Lin Xian obviously didn't know, but he felt that there was no harm in obtaining this mysterious item. What if they really met? He felt that his life was pretty good. Does it make sense? Ling Longshui didn't know what Lin Xian was thinking. I bought it to wipe my ass. Lin Xian said. Vulgar. Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue looked away in disgust. Seeing that Lin Xian was also increasing the price, Chen Cheng felt that it was interesting. Could it be that he really had the other half? Then let me test your confidence. Chen Cheng sneered and said directly, 3 million. Hiss, everyone sucked in a cold breath. How could he increase the price by 1 million? 4 million. Lin Xian also increased the price without hesitation. Interesting. Chen Cheng felt that the other half must be in his hands. Or else why would he increase the price so easily? Normally, Chen Cheng wouldn't increase the price by 1 million, and would stop immediately. The reason why he increased the price by 1 million was because he wanted to trick the other party and see his reaction. However, Lin Xian's reaction made him feel that the other half was in his hands. When Lin Xian saw Chen Cheng increase the price by 1 million, he had two thoughts in his mind. Either the other half was in his hands, or Chen Cheng was trying to trick him. Either way, Lin Xian felt that he could play as he pleased. 5 million. Lin Xian increased the price again. 6. Young master. A housekeeper beside Chen Cheng stopped him and said, Young master, 6 million to buy this kind of thing is really not worth it. What do you know? The other half is in his hands, and this half must not fall into his hands. 7 million. Hiss. Everyone sucked in a cold breath again. What kind of demon was this? Even when they were competing for an Earth-tier martial skill, they didn't increase the price like this. In the eyes of this bystander, it was as if the two people who were competing for the other half were in their hands. Clap, clap, clap. Applause came from Lin Xian's private room. Amazing. 7 million for a gamble, admirable. Oh, you're not competing? Chen Cheng raised his eyebrows. I'm not competing. I've never participated in an auction before. I just want to experience the thrill of crazily increasing the price. Thank you. It's really satisfying. Young Master Chen is really generous. Chen Cheng's pupils constricted, and then he revealed anger. He recognized him. Someone recognized him and deliberately bid against him, causing him to spend nearly 6 million yuan on the parchment scroll that he could have bought for more than 1 million yuan. F***ck. Chen Cheng angrily kicked the solid wood table in front of him. So angry. But he couldn't let others feel his exasperation. 7 million, not bad. It's just a small amount. It doesn't matter. But who are you? You actually recognize me. Oh, I just brought people out from your hotel. Lin Xian laughed. Chen Cheng. F***ck your mother. It's him. But I can't compare. Young Master Chen is really generous, admirable. Chen Cheng's face darkened. Take care of my shop's business in the future. Ha ha ha. Of course. Lin Xian's heart was filled with joy. Lin Xian didn't want this parchment scroll for more than 1 million, and he didn't want it. After that, it was purely because he wanted to scam this B*****starred. So bad. Bing Lingyue muttered. Hey, I'm avenging you. It's fine if you don't thank me, but you're scolding me. My good intentions have been taken for granted. Lin Xian shook his head secretly. Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue were stunned. Did he really scam this person to avenge them? Although there was no revenge to be had, they were really unhappy at that time. Really? Forget it if you don't believe me. Lin Xian looked disappointed. I'm sorry. Ling Longshui said apologetically. Ding. Ling Longshui's favorability towards you +1. Ehe. Then how are you going to thank me? Let me hear you call me big brother. Achoo. Many people around them sneezed subconsciously, and some of the elite's faces changed drastically. What kind of aura was this? There was actually a heaven-defying expert hidden in their auction house. Chapter 292. Lin Xian was speechless. Sure enough, he couldn't tease a powerful lady. If he really wanted to unleash his aura on Lin Xian, he would have been crushed into ashes by the sheer pressure alone. The people from the Bounty Hunter Guild didn't dare to move when they felt the aura. They silently searched for the hidden master. However, they didn't dare to make too much noise. Naturally, they wouldn't be able to find her. If you dare to say that again, I'll kill you. Ling Longshui said coldly. To be honest, I'm not afraid of you. Lin Xian said with a shrug. He didn't have anything on her. Wasn't he afraid of her? Or did he still have something on her? Then Lin Xian took out the bottle of obedience spray. Seeing the obedience spray, Ling Longshui subconsciously took a step back. It was an instinctive reaction. She knew very well how much she had suffered because of this. It was natural for her to be instinctively afraid. This is perfume. Bing Lingyue came over curiously and took the obedience spray from Lin Xian's hand. Lin Xian. Ling Longshui. Sizzle. Then, she sprayed herself twice without hesitation. Lin Xian. F***ck. She used it? Wait. Before Ling Longshui could react, she saw her use it. Oh no. Then, Bing Lingyue's eyes became distant and her expression became dull. To be precise, she looked like an obedient robot. Sit down. Lin Xian quickly said to Bing Lingyue. He had to let Ling Longshui see the power of the obedient spray. Otherwise, if Ling Longshui took the initiative, he would lose his advantage. Then Bing Lingyue really sat down obediently. Ling Longshui, who was at the side, was shocked. What was this? It could directly control a heavenly venerable. It was too scary. Come over and help me massage my shoulders. Lin Xian sat on the sofa and said faintly. He had to be calm. Bing Lingyue really came over to massage his shoulders. Ling Longshui. It was too terrifying. What kind of spirit artifact is this? He actually made an Empyrean realm cultivator work for him. At that time, he was indeed the same. Good girl. You may leave. Lin Xian waved his hand, and Bing Lingyue sat beside him. Then she regained her consciousness. There was a lot of obedience spray, but after using it once, no matter how much was left, it would lose its effect. Whoosh! Linglong Shui didn't know about this. She stretched out her hand, and the obedient spray appeared in her palm. What happened just now? Bing Lingyue shook her little head, and looked confused. Nothing, you're just tired, Linglong Shui said softly. Although Bing Lingyue was confused, she didn't ask too much. Lin Xian smiled at Linglong Shui and said, "It's useless even if you snatch it away, because each bottle can only be used once." I don't believe you. After saying that, she sprayed twice at Lin Xian. Kneel. Lin Xian. I'll kneel your mother. Damn it. Make him kneel. Damn it. Lin Xian would remember this. Linglong Shui. Crack. She used her strength, and the obedient spray shattered. The water inside flowed down through the gaps between her fingers. What the hell is this? Linglong Shui stared at Lin Xian and asked. It's something you're afraid of. Lin Xian grinned. Today's move definitely made Linglong Shui afraid. Bing Lingyue also fell for it. Lin Xian could do whatever he wanted. She wasn't afraid. She was scared to death. She had never seen such a heaven-defying item. I want it. No way. Lin Xian said with a smile. I want. You want it my ass. You. Linglong Shui gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. To be honest, she had seen too many rare treasures, but she had never seen such a freakish item. Virtuous realm and heavenly venerable realm cultivators would lose all self-awareness and be controlled by others. It was too scary. What do you want in order to give it to me? Linglong Shui asked again. That depends on whether I'm interested or not. Bing Lingyue blinked and felt very unhappy. Why did the conversation between the two of them make her inexplicably think the wrong way? If I give it to you, what if you harm me? I can kill you easily now. What are you afraid of? Linglong Shui said. That was true. Then we'll have to see what you can take out to exchange with me. Something of equivalent value that you think is worthy of this item. What's the limit of this item? Linglong Shui asked. No matter how strong you are, you will still be affected by it. It's just a matter of how long it lasts. Lin Xian said. Linglong Shui really believed him. Then why was it your idea last time? Linglong Shui said, blushing. Bing Lingyue was confused. Why couldn't she understand their conversation? I swear, I didn't know last time. Didn't you notice that the color of the spray was different? It was pink last time. This time it's colorless. I didn't mean anything before. I really didn't know. Enough! Linglong Shui shouted. Do you still want it? I want it. She hesitated and asked. Is a space attribute heaven rank martial skill enough? Lin Xian. So in Linglong Shui's heart, the obedient spray was so valuable. Those things that were awesome in Lin Xian's eyes were worthless in Linglong Shui's eyes. However, Lin Xian's things were extremely valuable in Linglong Shui's eyes. You must be lying to me. Space attribute martial skills don't exist, right? Space explosion, space compression, and other powers are all released directly. How can there be martial skills? That's what you mortals think. After that, Linglong Shui released a small amount of energy and formed a black hole in front of Lin Xian. That's right, a miniature black hole. Then, everything in the room was sucked into the black hole. The power of space is similar to a black hole. It's a martial skill that I created myself. It's about 1 star of the heaven rank. With your 9 stars of the arcane body realm, even 1 star of the arcane heaven realm will be sucked into it. If it's used properly, even arcane heaven realm 5 stars and above won't be able to break free. Aren't you lying? Black hole. It looks like it. But isn't it similar to a space imprisonment? It sucks people in and imprisons them inside. It's the same as being in an independent space. He can still break free. Are you an idiot? Lin Xian. F***ck. I'm being scolded again. F***ck. I've said it before. That's the power of space, but this is a martial skill. A heaven rank martial skill is naturally different. As long as it's sucked in, there's no possibility of breaking free. It's the same as disappearing into thin air and turning into ashes. Do you understand? Gulp. Lin Xian swallowed a mouthful of saliva. If that was the case, then it was completely different from the power of space he released. This was completely on top of the perverse foundation of the space attribute. Adding a pair of wings and a pair of flamethrowers behind its butt. It was such a huge upgrade. Chapter 293. The effect that Lin Xian could release was to banish people into the space that he had created. In this space, people would be fine and could even break free. What Linglong Shui meant was that her martial technique was similar to a black hole. As long as someone was sucked in, that person would be gone and vanish into thin air. Then, they would not be able to break free and turn into atoms. That was simply invincible. With Lin Xian's 9 stars arcane body realm cultivation base, a heaven tier martial skill could easily suck in a mystic heaven tier 1-star martial skill. Even a mystic heaven tier 5-star martial skill could easily suck in a heaven tier martial skill. That was too domineering. I want it, Lin Xian said impatiently. Give me the spray first. Linglong Shui said. What if you don't give it to me? Lin Xian asked. I don't want to go back on my words with you, but you. Cough cough. Lin Xian admitted that he often cheated Linglong Shui. He had cheated many good things from her. But she did not know that she was cheated. That was very comfortable. All right. Then, Lin Xian spent 300,000 scumbag points to exchange for a bottle, and handed it to Linglong Shui. Remember, this thing has nothing to do with your strength. It only depends on the strength of the other party. How long it will listen to you depends on the other party's strength. Lin Xian reminded her. He did not know what this girl wanted to do. Got it. Also, although this bottle is full, it can only be used on one person. That is to say, it can only be used once. No matter how much is left, it will be useless once used. What if it doesn't spray? Linglong Shui asked. Then it can be used. As long as it doesn't work, it's fine. Linglong Shui nodded slightly. I want it too. Bing Lingyue stretched out her hand to Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Then what can you give me? It seemed like Bing Lingyue had nothing to give Lin Xian. Her things were all in the imperial tombs. The rest of the ice attribute martial skills cannot be imparted to you. Bing Lingyue said helplessly. Previously, he had imbued Lin Xian with a martial technique, but now it was gone. Lin Xian then looked at Linglong Shui. Forget it. I'll give you a bottle for Xiao Linglong's sake. I don't want your things anymore. Lin Xian spent another 300,000 scumbag points, and threw a bottle to Bing Lingyue. Ding! Linglong Shui's favorability towards you +1. This Linglong Shui's favorability is so hard to raise. Many thanks. Bing Lingyue quietly put away the obedient spray. Wait a minute. Was Bing Lingyue going to use it on Linglong Shui? It shouldn't be, right? Give me the martial skill. Lin Xian couldn't wait to tell Linglong Shui. With this martial skill, it was equivalent to having the strongest killing move. It was even more powerful than all of Lin Xian's space manipulation. What should he say now? He had many martial skills, and they were very powerful. He didn't lack them, but no one would complain about having too many martial skills. However, having more martial skills wasn't necessarily a good thing. As he used them, he would realize that his spiritual energy points were all gone. Also, he had to strive for perfection. If he had too many martial skills, he wouldn't be able to master them. But if it was an Earth-rank martial skill, there wouldn't be many of them. As long as the effects weren't repeated, there wouldn't be a problem. Linglong Shui rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Then, she pointed her slender finger at Lin Xian's forehead, and a white light shone out. Xiao Linglong, your finger is so soft. Lin Xian grinned. Don't talk too much. Linglong Shui said coldly. What kind of martial skill is this? 1000 induction heavenly prison. Ding. Power received 10%. 20%. Ding. 1000 induction heavenly prison has been successfully learned. Linglong Shui let out a sigh of relief, forcefully instilling the 1000 induction heavenly prison into an arcane body realm martial artist. Other than giving it to him, she also had to protect him. Damn it. She actually had to protect him. However, when she thought of the heaven-defying spray, Linglong Shui's heart relaxed. She might not need it, but she was very curious. Moreover, this was something she had never seen before. What if it could help her in the future? It's best to use this move when you're in the arcane body realm. An arcane body realm martial artist might not be able to withstand it. Linglong Shui reminded Lin Xian. Thank you. Then, Lin Xian impatiently looked at the introduction of the 1000 Induction Heavenly Prison. Myriad Bait Heavenly Prison. Grade, Heaven Rank 1 star. A Heaven Rank martial skill created by the Void Fox Linglong Shui. As the ruler of the Void Fox clan, her self-created martial skill could be said to be heaven-defying. Effect. Releases a powerful 1000 Induction Heavenly Prison. It has the power of destruction and a strong suction force. Once the target is sucked in, it will cause irreversible destruction. The size, strength, and suction force of the 1000 Induction Heavenly Prison is related to the strength of the release. Spiritual energy cost. A minimum of 3,500. There was no accurate data. But perhaps it was precisely because there was no accurate data that this martial skill was powerful. In short, it was very brainless. In any case, as long as you were sucked in, you would die. The main thing was whether or not it could be sucked in depended on how strong Lin Xian's release was. Earth stage martial skills could cause damage to those a few stars higher, not to mention heaven stage martial skills. Linglong Shui also said that Lin Xian was at arcane body stage 9 stars. If he was at arcane body stage 5 stars, he would die under this 1000 Induction Heavenly Prison if he wasn't careful. It was enough to show how powerful it was. One big realm 6 stars higher. How exaggerated was that? But now, the awkward thing was that Lin Xian's spiritual energy was a total of 3,500 at arcane body stage 9 stars. That was just right. In other words, even if his spiritual energy was depleted, he could only release 1,000 Induction Heavenly Prison. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to release it. Wasn't this too much spiritual energy consumption? It was strong. But Lin Xian might not even be able to use it when he was in danger, because his spiritual energy wasn't enough. Damn. However, with such a powerful martial skill, Lin Xian would be able to use it when he faced a battle with a high number of stars like Chu Haohan. Thanks. You've said it twice. Linglong Shui replied emotionlessly as she played with the bottle of obedience spray. That proves that my gratitude to you is even deeper. If you feel that it's not enough, you can give me another bottle. Linglong Shui said. Cough cough, that won't be necessary. Do you think it's filled with water? You can have as many bottles as you want. Lin Xian rolled his eyes. The two girls put away the obedience spray. Everyone, the next item to be auctioned is the new finale item. After saying that, the beauty removed the red cloth and everyone stood up to see it clearly. What's that? It looks like a pitch-black needle. A needle? That's the finale item? What's so special about it? Could it be that it's used by some big star? Everyone revealed an astonished expression, because they couldn't think of it as something awesome. Even if it was a spiritual weapon, how powerful could it be? Everyone, this needle is called the Heaven's Punishment Needle. As the name suggests, those who are hit by this needle will be punished by the heavens. A man shouted, Big sister, please explain it clearly. I don't read much, so I don't understand. Chapter 294. Hearing the man's words, the Cheongsam girl's mouth twitched slightly. Then she coughed dryly and said, If this needle hits a cultivator, even a Law Realm cultivator will be instantly killed. Hearing her words, the crowd fell silent for a few seconds. Then, they could not help but burst into laughter. Ha ha ha. Instantly kill a Law Realm cultivator? That's it. This is a spirit artifact, right? Let me see you instantly kill a mystic Heaven Realm cultivator, and even a Law Realm cultivator. Do you think Law Realm cultivators are cabbages? Does the Bounty Hunter Guild also do such deceptive things? Everyone please quiet down. At this time, Zhang Changtian walked out. Many people knew that he was the guild leader, so they naturally had to give him face. Everyone, it's true that using a spirit artifact to instantly kill a Law Realm cultivator with a needle is unheard of. It's normal that you don't believe it. However, the cultivator who auctioned this needle personally demonstrated it to this old man. Moreover, This concerns the reputation of the Bounty Hunter Guild. Do you really think that the Bounty Hunter Guild would not even be willing to sell such a fake at a high price for our reputation? Hearing Zhang Changtian's words, everyone fell silent. That's right, this was not a small shop. This was the Bounty Hunter Guild. They could not really sell fake goods, right? This concerned the reputation of the Bounty Hunter Guild. Seeing is believing. That auctioneer knows that this is indeed a bit of a fantasy, so he gave this old man an extra one. With that, Zhang Changtian took out another Heaven's Wrath needle. Everyone's attention was immediately placed on his hand. If it was true, then it would refresh their worldview. Of course, apart from them, Zhang Changtian and the others would also refresh their worldview. Then, an old man walked to Zhang Changtian's side. Everyone seeing is believing. This is an expert of my Bounty Hunter Guild. He's a 3-star domain realm cultivator. We don't dare to let a law realm cultivator block it, so we can only let a domain realm cultivator block it. In order to let everyone know the truth, Zhang Changtian let the expert beside him release his power. When the power of a domain realm was released, everyone felt like they were about to suffocate. This is the power of a domain realm cultivator? How exaggerated. It must be. I'm a 10-star mystic heaven realm cultivator, and I can feel my heart twisting. A tribulation realm cultivator can't do it, but this power. Cough. An old man at the side coughed dryly and said, "This is indeed the power of a grand dominion realm cultivator." Withdrawing his aura, everyone took a deep breath. Everyone, do you believe that he's at the domain realm now? Everyone agreed. Then, I will release a Heaven's Wrath needle and let him block it. You will know how powerful the Heaven's Wrath needle is. After that, the two of them spread out about 5 meters apart. Tell them to move further away. Ling Wangshui reminded Lin Xian. Aloo, was 5 meters not enough? The domain realm might be fine, but the lightning tribulation realm is not. It can't be? He's a releaser. Lin Xian exclaimed in shock. 5 meters is too close. He won't die, but he will definitely be injured. Normally, when releasing the Heaven's Wrath needle, one had to maintain a distance of more than 20 meters. If a mystic heaven realm cultivator releases it from 5 meters away, he will either die or be injured. Ling Wangshui said. Lin Xian's mouth twitched, and then his voice came from inside. President, isn't it too dangerous to be able to kill a law realm cultivator at a distance of 5 meters? Zhang Changtian was slightly stunned. He was not stupid. Of course, he knew what Lin Xian meant. Then he smiled and said, "You're right. 5 meters is indeed a little dangerous." After saying that, he retreated another 5 meters. What about 10 meters? Everyone was dumbfounded. Was he asking? No, he definitely wasn't. He was just joking. President, you're so strong. Of course, you can control it. Then, Zhang Changtian smiled and took out the Heaven's Wrath needle. What shocked him was that when he took out the Heaven's Wrath needle, he felt a powerful force. Brother Wang, be careful. Zhang Changtian reminded the domain realm cultivator in front of him. Wang Hai. Come on. Wang Hai released his defensive qi. Of course, he knew that it was useless. But even so, he still wanted to try. Whoosh. Then, Zhang Changtian's index and middle fingers clamped the Heaven's Wrath needle and shot it at Wang Hai. The sound of air being pierced was heard pop. The small Heaven's Wrath needle was mixed with a blue power and easily penetrated the domain realm cultivator's defensive qi. At that moment, everyone was shocked. Wang Hai was also shocked. The Heaven's Wrath needle could really ignore his defensive qi. Bang! The small Heaven's Wrath needle released a light that was 30 centimeters thick and shot straight at Wang Hai. If he was in the law realm, the Heaven's Wrath needle would have already entered his body. However, because he was in the domain realm, it could not penetrate his body. What shocked everyone was that Wang Hai could not resist the small Heaven's Wrath needle and was forced to retreat. In the end, his body hit the wall in the distance and stopped. Patter! The Heaven's Wrath needle fell to the ground. The sound was so clear that everyone could hear it, because the surroundings were too quiet. When Zhang Changtian released the needle, the two forces collided, and his figure staggered back dozens of steps before stopping. He was the one who released the needle, but he was also injured. If it was only 5 meters just now, he would definitely vomit blood. How terrifying. Pooh. The next moment, Wang Hai spat out a mouthful of blood. Brother Wang. Zhang Changtian rushed over to Wang Hai. I'm fine. Wang Hai stretched out his hand, wiped it and stood up. Everyone was dumbfounded. The domain realm cultivator had blocked it, but he still vomited blood and was injured. Was this not too exaggerated? Wang Hai stood up and cupped his fists. I wonder which powerhouse auctioned the Heaven's Wrath Needle. I admire its power. I can guarantee that as long as one's realm has not reached the domain realm, and is still in the law realm, they will be instantly killed by the Heaven's Wrath Needle. Whoosh, everyone was in an uproar. Quick, get my father to transfer money. I must get the Heaven's Wrath Needle. Chen Qing stood up excitedly and hurriedly said. As long as they had the ability, everyone was calling their families to transfer money. The shock that the Heaven's Wrath Needle gave them was simply too great. It could instantly kill a law realm cultivator. Simply put, they would not be afraid when facing a law realm cultivator. They could even use it to kill a law realm cultivator and quickly increase their cultivation level. In other words, this was a secret trump card to save their lives. Tens of millions? Even if it was tens of millions, they had to get it. This might be related to their second life. It was worth it no matter how much it cost. Zhang Changtian was truly shocked. Lin Xian could actually take out such a heaven-defying item. He was truly convinced. Because this item is indeed extraordinary, everyone might not have prepared much. Then, I will give everyone 10 minutes to prepare. 10 minutes later, the Heaven's Wrath Needle will be officially auctioned. Prepare for what? Of course, it was to prepare money. It was estimated that 50 million was the minimum price for the Heaven's Wrath Needle. Chapter 295. Lin Xian stretched and asked, Can I get some of the money from the auction? No way. Lin Xian. Hey. You can say no. Isn't that a little too heartless? Do I need to have feelings for you? Linglong Shui glanced at Lin Xian. Damn. No matter what, we've had a wonderful time together. Before Lin Xian could finish his sentence, Linglong Shui sealed his mouth again. One more word and I'll kill you, Linglong Shui said coldly. If this was in the past, Lin Xian would be afraid of such a threat. But now Linglong Shui's threats were no threat to Lin Xian. He didn't know why, but it was probably because he felt that Linglong Shui wouldn't kill him. That's right. If she still wanted to kill Lin Xian with 22 favorability points, then her favorability points would be useless. What's wonderful? Bing Lingyue's beautiful eyes flashed with a trace of doubt. Cough cough. Lin Xian could speak again. He quickly said, Wonderful movies. Yes. That's it. Movies. Bing Lingyue revealed a surprised expression. Linglong Shui was also stunned. What's a movie? Lin Xian. It's like watching TV, but on a bigger screen. It must be very interesting. Lin Xian. Damn. Don't tell me he's going to watch a movie with them. I want to go. Bing Lingyue said proudly. When she was the empress, she didn't just say that. She directly ordered whatever she wanted to do. Can we go tomorrow night? Lin Xian asked. On second thought, if he were to watch a movie with such beautiful girls, he could just order 3 of them together, one on each side. TSK. In a dark theater, he could deliberately order a horror movie. The 2 girls would be so scared that they would crawl into his arms. Wow. It felt good. Tomorrow night is the peak of my life. Not tonight. I see. Tonight, I have a performance at my college. I want to perform too. I want to sing a song. Linglong Shui. Really, at that moment, she didn't know why she wanted to laugh, but she held it in. I want to see it. Lin Xian. Okay. Just come with me when the time comes, but... Lin Xian thought for a moment and said, When the time comes, I'll buy you 2 caps to wear. Why? Please, I'm the star of the show tonight. If you 2 go over, it won't be good if you steal the limelight. Based on their appearances, such a thing could really happen. Okay. Also, when you 2 go over tonight, stay in one place and don't show off. If they were to show off, it would be the end. Got it. They weren't the type to show off. They hadn't seen a performance before. They didn't expect that their first time would be watching this guy's performance. It should be interesting, right? At this moment, everyone was ready. Those who needed to transfer money had already done so. The amount of money they could raise was definitely their limit. Because this Heaven's Wrath needle was indeed a bit of a fantasy, but it was real. That would be too shocking. Everyone, 10 minutes have passed. Now the auction for the final item, Heaven's Wrath needle, will officially begin. I will personally auction it for everyone. Zhang Changtian said. President Zhang, let's begin. Okay, let's begin. After our negotiations, the starting price of the Heaven's Wrath needle is 20 million. Each increment must not be less than 1 million. Lin Xian. Wow. The starting price is 20 million. Then the final price should be 50 million. Damn. Little Fairy works every day and only earns this much in a year. This group of rich people auctioning a good item, and the price is already this much in 10 minutes. Sigh. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. This world was so unfair. 21 million. Someone immediately made a bid without any hesitation. 22 million. 23 million. The price was increasing crazily by 1 million each time. In a short period of time, the price had reached 40 million, and there were no signs of it stopping. Not to mention stopping, there were no signs of it stopping. After this person bid, the next person immediately followed. 50 million. At this moment, Chen Qing couldn't be bothered to drag it out, and directly increased it to 50 million. This increment of 1 million, when would it end? Young Master Chen is so generous, increasing the price by 10 million in one go. Even so, I can't lose, right? 60 million. A voice came from another private room. Chen Qing frowned. Who is this person? In the private room, if Lin Xian saw this person, he would definitely recognize him. Wasn't that Zhang Tian? However, Lin Xian could roughly recognize him from his voice. But he didn't think that way. Zhang Tian also needed this. Whether it was to deal with Qin Xiaotian or something else. As long as he had this Heaven's Wrath needle, it would definitely be good. Who are you? Zhang Tian. Zhang Tian did not hide his identity and directly said, so it's young Master Zhang. Hearing this identity, Chen Qing heaved a sigh of relief. Although the Zhang family was strong, his Chen family was not weak either. It wasn't certain who would be better between the two of them. 70 million. Chen Qing said without hesitation. His limit was 90 million. Exchanging 90 million for a life, it was not a loss. Zhang Tian frowned. His limit was also 90 million, but neither of them knew the other's limit. 80 million. When the two of them started to raise the price by 10 million, the rest of the people lost their confidence. Who could withstand this? 90 million. Young Master Zhang, are you still going? Chen Qing's eyes were slightly red. Zhang Tian clenched his fist slightly, and then lost his temper. 90 million, he couldn't take it anymore. Young Master Chen is so generous. Then I'll give up. Zhang Tian said unwillingly. Is there anyone else who wants to compete? Chen Qing's voice sounded. No one responded. Zhang Changtian was secretly surprised. 90 million? It had probably broken their auction record. Is there no one else? Zhang Changtian asked. 90 million going once. 90 million going twice. 90 million. 100 million. At this time, a voice came from Lin Xian's private room. Zhang Changtian was stunned. Why was Lin Xian auctioning his own item? However, he soon understood. He was trying to drive up the price. Chen Qing thought that 90 million was a sure win. But who knew that another 100 million would appear? Could he afford it? This brother, auctions are all about authenticity. 100 million, can you afford it? Although he didn't believe it, he had to be prepared. Quickly borrow 20 million from my father. Young master, 90 million is already the limit. Quickly. Yes. Lin Xian laughed and said, who wouldn't want such a good item? It's only 100 million. Of course I can afford it. If I can't, why do you think this young master can be in this VIP room? Actually, Lin Xian couldn't afford it. Chapter 296. However, he felt that since Chen Qing had raised the price like that, he must have the Heaven's Wrath needle. If he could raise the price with just a word, why not? Of course, it was also quite risky, because if he did not want it, wouldn't the Heaven's Wrath needle return to his hands? However, in Lin Xian's view, 100 million was nothing to a young master with such a net worth. Chen Cheng gritted his teeth as the money entered his account. 110 million, this was definitely his limit. It was impossible to raise it any further. If Lin Xian wanted it again, he would not be able to compete anymore. Then I'd like to see if you can still compete with this young master. 110 million. Whoosh, everyone exclaimed. 110 million. A Heaven's Wrath needle. In a sense, this price was not high, because the rarer an item was, the more expensive it was. They had never seen such an item before, so it was normal for the price to be higher. However, because it was in a different place, this was Tianhua City. If it was auctioned in Tiandu, the price might be several times higher. However, 110 million was actually enough. After all, this Heaven's Wrath needle was only a one-time item, not a spiritual artifact that could be used all the time. It would be gone after it was used. However, in a sense, if he met an opponent that he could not beat and had not reached the law realm, then this could save his life. 110 million for his life. It was a huge profit. Young Master Chen is amazing. This is the second time I've said that to you tonight, but I still admire you. Lin Xian said while holding back his laughter. Damn. 110 million. This was double of what Lin Xian had expected. Then, do you still want to compete? No more fighting, no more fighting. At this time, Zhang Changtian said. Anyone else? 110 million going once. 110 million going twice. 110 million going thrice sold. Phew. Both sides breathed a sigh of relief. 110 million. How long can you spend in the human world? Linglong Shui asked. That depends on what you do. If it's normal, it's enough for an ordinary family to spend for a lifetime. If you wander around, it might be gone in a minute. Linglong Shui. Anyway, I can sell it again. Really? Please pack. That was what Lin Xian thought. Chen Cheng heaved a sigh of relief. Finally, there was no one else competing. What he didn't know was that he had been tricked by Lin Xian. With that, the auction came to an end. Of the tens of thousands of people here, 90% of them had paid the entrance fee to broaden their horizons and watch a show. They had not expected to see such a show. It was indeed quite satisfying. After a while, Zhang Changtian arrived at Lin Xian's private room. After entering, he saw two women who were so beautiful that they shocked him. He had never thought that Lin Xian would have two such beautiful women. Furthermore, when facing a lot of people, such a strong warrior would be able to sense something. However, when facing Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue, he only felt that he could not see through them at all. These two people's restrained auras were too terrifying. He thought of the aura that had suddenly emanated from this place. That aura couldn't have been released by one of the two women, right? That was impossible. Lin Xian could not possibly know such a level of existence. But their temperaments made Zhang Changtian feel an impulse to submit to them. It was as if they said to kneel down, he would really kneel down for them. Of course, it was impossible in reality. It was just a feeling. Young Master Lin, this is what you got from the auction. Zhang Changtian handed a card to Lin Xian and said, after deducting 2 million in taxes, it's a total of 108 million. Lin Xian took the card and said with a smile, Thank you, President Zhang. It's my duty. Zhang Changtian smiled and said, Well, if there are any similar treasures in the future, you can continue to auction here. Lin Xian nodded. Don't worry, if there are any more, I will naturally. And then I'll take my leave first. Zhang Changtian then walked away. From the beginning to the end, he only glanced at them once when he came in. He did not know why, but he did not even have the courage to look at them a second time. Here. Lin Xian handed the card to them and said, On the back is the password. How do I use this? They were used to paying with their mobile phones. This was the first time they were using a card. I'll help you set up the password. You can continue to pay with your mobile phones. Are you sure you don't want to share some with me? Lin Xian asked. Is this a lot? Linglong Shui asked. Of course, they knew this number. Of course, This number was a lot, but they did not know how much it would cost to buy something in the human world. However, Lin Xian felt that this 100 million could be spent for a while, right? Linglong Shui thought for a moment. Lin Xian had indeed helped her a lot. Then I'll give you some. Ha ha ha. I'm kidding, I don't want it. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. However, he was still quite happy. This Linglong Shui had a sharp tongue but a soft heart. I'm also kidding. Lin Xian. Then I'll get going first. I still have to rehearse in the afternoon. You can go to Tianhua Academy at 6:30 p.m. How do we get there? We'll take a taxi. Or, you can give me a spot and I'll go there directly. Lin Xian. Alright, he forgot that she was a void fox. She could use the power of space as she wished. Teleporting a few kilometers was extremely easy. Oh right, how big is this 10,000 attractors heavenly prison? Lin Xian asked. He had never used it before. It would be bad if he couldn't control it. The size depends on how much power you use to release it. Linglong Shui replied. Like me. Linglong Shui pondered for a moment and said, about a mystic heaven realm 1 star. It should have a range of about 5 meters. That's not necessarily true. Then what about the power you release? What kind of power are you referring to? Full power. Tianhua City can be completely absorbed in a minute. Lin Xian. Sorry, I'm disturbing you. F*CK. Tianhua City can be directly sucked in. F*CK. Is this the power of the virtualization stage? Lin Xian realized that it was indeed a wise choice to not let the virtualization stage participate in the war between races. Otherwise, a city with millions of people would be wiped out with the raise of a hand. Who could withstand that? There was no way he could withstand it. Just when you think that the virtualization stage is very strong, in front of the heavenly Tao realm, the virtualization stage is just an ant. Bing Lingyue said at this moment. Does the heavenly Tao realm really exist? Lin Xian didn't know anyway. It exists, but it's very rare. The virtualization stage is also very rare. Even the heavenly venerables are not many. Bing Lingyue said. When I reach this realm, I'll definitely let you warm my bed. Wahahaha. Lin Xian ran off after saying that. Chapter 297. Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue were stunned. In that instant, Lin Xian was nowhere to be seen. Damn it! Linglong Shui clenched her fists. Linglong, I think he's flirting with us. Bing Lingyue said. Kill him. Are we really going to kill him? Linglong Shui was speechless. If she really wanted to kill him, Lin Xian would have died a long time ago. But she did not understand why she did not want to kill Lin Xian. No, to be precise, it was not that she did not want to kill him. She really wanted to kill the man who took her virginity. But she could not do it. Her conscience was telling her that she could not kill him. Even when Lin Xian had dared to take liberties with her on multiple occasions, she had never been angry. Instead, she would sometimes feel shy. She was going crazy. Forget it. Linglong Shui shook her head. I think so too. After all, he is the first friend I met since I woke up. Friend? Linglong Shui asked Bing Lingyue in surprise. Isn't that right? Linglong Shui was stunned. Lin Xian was her friend? Was he? She did not know. She did not remember having any friends. What was a friend? She did not know what a friend was. There were 2 void foxes in total. They were her and her sister. Before her younger sister joined the Myriad Demon Alliance, the 2 of them were basically together all day long. They did everything together, and spent most of their time cultivating. Her younger sister would also go out and play, but she rarely did. That was why she did not have any friends. She only knew them. To be honest, she did not know what it was like to be friends. Was Lin Xian her friend? What was the feeling between friends? What is it like to be friends? Linglong Shui asked. Bing Lingyue was surprised. Why would Linglong Shui ask such a question? Actually, I'm not too sure. Bing Lingyue said after thinking for a while. She was the empress, but to be honest, would she have any good friends? It was very difficult. It was not only because of her, but also because of her identity, job, and status. The friends in her memory were from a long time ago. They were still stuck in her childhood, but her memories of that time were blurry. Then why did you say that Lin Xian is your friend? I don't know either. That's right. Why did she subconsciously say that Lin Xian was her friend? Maybe after spending some time with him, I'll understand what a friend is. Or maybe it's useless. Bing Lingyue said. Friends. If Lin Xian knew about this, he would definitely be pissed. In his eyes, girls only cared about chasing after you and having a girlfriend. Nothing else existed. At this moment, Lin Xian had arrived at the rehearsal area of Tianhua Academy. Tianhua Academy was one of the 3 major academies in Tianhua City. It was an especially large place. Usually, there would even be some celebrities who would come to perform. There would also be banquets held during major festivals. Hence, it was more prosperous in this area. There was an extremely large indoor stage that could accommodate tens of thousands of people. At this moment, a group of people were rehearsing here. During the rehearsal period, outsiders were not allowed to enter. If they did, the performance would be revealed. Only relevant people could be here. Lin Xian was being forced by Ling Ying backstage to wear an ancient costume. Beside him was a group of young ladies who had already changed into their costumes. They were especially beautiful. I say, let's not change yet. There are still a few hours left. Let's wait until the actual performance. Can't we rehearse like this now? Ling Ying thought for a while and nodded. You're right. I finished the script. Let's go rehearse now. I like the silence. Lin Xian said seriously. Ling Ying, forget it. You're just afraid that you'll embarrass yourself in front of so many people. Ling Ying rolled his eyes. Hee, as expected of the little Ying that I've entered a few times. You know me well. Lin Xian grinned. Enter what? Ling Ying was slightly stunned. A second later she reacted. Bastard. No matter what, he was never serious and always had a glib tongue. If not for the fact that there were so many people here, this guy would definitely get physical. Then let's go to the villa in the Sky Marshal Court. There's a karaoke room there. Wow. There's a karaoke room too. Of course. The main thing is that we have to remember the division of labor, the songs, the movements, the positions, and other aspects of the musical. Finally, we'll rehearse on this big stage. Ling Ying said. Wow. So much. Let's just sing a song. Why do we have to do a stage play? You promised me. Ling Ying even spoke in a coquettish tone. Okay. I'll try my best. Then, the two of them left the place and headed to the villa where the Sky Marshal Court experts were. All right. I've done what you asked me to do, Ling Ying said to Lin Xian. Good. I understand. Let's see how it goes tonight. Even if he wants to make a move, it won't be tonight. With how cautious he is, he'll definitely observe for a few days. Lin Xian said. With how cautious he is, we won't be able to stop him even if we don't have someone strong. Moreover, his ice attribute is very strong, and it's the strongest control attribute. If he wants to escape, it won't be easy. Besides, he'll definitely cover his face. You won't be able to find any evidence. Lin Xian said. Don't worry. As long as Sister Qianqian acts well, it'll be useless even if he covers his face. Just make him show his face for a second. Sister Qianqian? Oh. Ling Ying understood what Lin Xian meant. Wang Qianqian's strength was at Mysterious Heaven stage. If Qin Xiaotian did not think of that, he would have made a mistake. Then, the two of them went to room K and started rehearsing. There was no one in the villa today, because Qin Xiaotian was also rehearsing there. As for Han Chuxue, she was indeed going to come. However, as an audience member, she would probably only arrive when the sky turned dark. There were other experts as well, but not many of them would stay here during normal times. When Lin Xian sang the first line, Ling Ying broke down. Big brother, aren't you tone deaf? I told you I'm tone deaf. Lin Xian shrugged. Oh my god. If you sing badly, it'll be easy for you to fall out of line. In a musical, the focus was on the stage. The various special effects on the stage, the mood of the song, and the performance of the singer were all very important. If any of these aspects were not good enough, the whole scene would be ruined. No. There's still 5 hours. As long as you're not stupid, there's still time. Lin Xian. Lin Xian swore that the next 5 hours would be the most torturous time he had ever spent with a beautiful girl in his life. Phew! Ling Ying wiped the fragrant sweat off her forehead. The sky outside was already dark. Finally, everything was done. Is it okay? Lin Xian smiled and hugged Ling Ying's waist. Okay, my ass. I'm so tired. F*CK. I'm the one who's tired. Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. He looked at the lady's watch on his wrist and said, There's still an hour. We'll rehearse for 20 minutes 3 times. That should be enough. Let's go. Wait, there's still an hour. There's no one here. It's just the 2 of us. Let's get down to business first. Lin Xian grinned. Chapter 298. Really? Ling Ying really wanted to kill Lin Xian with an icicle. Get lost. What time is it? It's going to start in an hour. We need to arrive 20 minutes early. Excluding the 20 minutes of rehearsal, we only have 20 minutes left. Ling Ying really wanted to cry. Time was so tight. What was this guy thinking? It's fine. I'll hurry up. 10 minutes is over. Ling Ying. She didn't know how long Lin Xian would take. Pay. She was actually thinking about this. Get lost. Hurry up and leave. I'm not leaving. Lin Xian lay on the sofa, motionless like a corpse. Really? I've been suffocating for the past 2 days. I won't leave if you come. Lin Xian began to act shamelessly. Big brother, can we go home tonight? Ling Ying really wanted to cry. Hee, you said it. Lin Xian stood up with a smile. Ling Ying really wanted to go crazy. Damn it. Ling Ying wanted to cry but had no tears. Let's go. Lin Xian smiled and walked out. Ling Ying really wanted to throw all kinds of big moves at Lin Xian. Even if he couldn't hit Lin Xian, he could tear down the house. How annoying. She followed Ling Ying to the huge stage and began rehearsing. Strange, why is Lin Xian so close to Ling Ying? They're even acting in this kind of musical. Originally, everyone knew that they were acting in a musical, but when they saw what kind of musical they were rehearsing, they were stunned. This was totally a romantic musical. F*CK. Who was Ling Ying? Tianhua Academy's second most beautiful woman, comparable to Han Chuxue, was actually acting in this kind of romantic musical with Lin Xian. They even held hands a few times throughout the whole process. Qin Xiaotian frowned as he looked at the 2 of them. His hatred for Lin Xian grew even deeper. However, there was still a very important matter for him right now, and that was the arcane body stage friend that Ling Ying had mentioned. If she was an ice elemental genius, her realm was also suitable. She could be his target at this time. Time was tight. Lin Xian and Ling Ying rehearsed 3 times before they finished. These 3 performances could not be said to be too successful. Every time, he felt like something was missing. Ling Ying could only hope that when the time came, he would be able to perform exceptionally well. I'll go pick up Little Fairy and a few other friends. I'll go with you. Ugh, forget it. People will talk about it. Lin Xian said. Then go. I'll go pick up Han Chuxue. Does she even need to? Lin Xian asked. That's true. Han Chuxue was an influential figure in the Tianhua Academy, and she naturally knew about this place. She could even easily get herself the best viewing spot. However, Linya and the rest needed Lin Xian to pick them up. Since they were his friends, he would bring them to the best seats. Ling Ying had already helped to arrange these seats. They were going to perform for the finale. The entire performance was about 2 hours long. Hence, there was no rush for them to change their outfits. Even Lin Xian and Ling Ying could watch more than half of the performance before going backstage. Outside, tens of thousands of students from the Tianhua Academy rushed into the performance hall. Of course, they were looking forward to it. This time, there would be many experts from the Sky Martial Court performing. There was even Ling Ying. Without a doubt, Ling Ying and Lin Xian's performance would definitely be the most anticipated. Linya stood in front of the huge performance hall, looking at the large group of students entering. She did not know what to do. As for her, she was dressed in a white dress. She was really dressed to the nines. She was probably dressed to the nines for a banquet. Standing there, her appearance, aura, and other things naturally attracted a lot of attention. Hey, pretty lady, Which class are you from? How come I've never seen you before? A few guys came over to strike up a conversation with Linya. They were extremely shocked. Since when did the Tianhua Academy have such a beautiful goddess? Logically speaking, she should have caused a stir. Why was it so quiet? I'm not a student, Linya replied politely, but there was a hint of coldness in her tone. She was like that. Towards people she did not know, she had a natural resistance. Perhaps it was because of her experience. Then you are? She's my little fairy. A voice sounded. Lin Xian's figure walked over. Little Xian. Seeing Lin Xian, Linya seemed to have found her backbone. Lin Xian. Of course they also knew Lin Xian. Disperse, disperse. Lin Xian waved his hand. The few of them walked away, puzzled and confused. Lin Xian. At this moment, a voice sounded from the side. Xiao Runing walked over. Miss Xiao. Yeah. Seeing Linya, Xiao Runing smiled and held her hand. That's great. Miss Xiao, bring our little fairy to her seat. I'll go pick up a few more friends. Girls? Xiao Runing's mouth curled up as she looked at Lin Xian and asked. Yes. All right, go ahead. Xiao Runing smiled. Then, Lin Xian walked towards the main entrance. Lin Xian. After taking a few steps, Lin Xian bumped into Yi Yi and Lu Yufan. Lu Yufan was extremely unhappy. She was his girlfriend. It had been a few days, but Lin Xian had not come to play with her. Damn it. Lin Xian. I heard from Yi that you're going to act in a musical with Senior Ling Ying. Although she was unhappy, she couldn't show it, right? Yeah, after all, someone needs to hear my moving voice. Wretch. Yi Yi smiled and said, why didn't I see you rehearsing? She was the female host, and had been rehearsing by heart in the afternoon. However, she didn't see Lin Xian. Oh, I just started rehearsing. You weren't there. I went to look for Fan Fan. Yi Yi whispered. Then let's go in. Lu Yufan said. You guys go in. I'm going to pick up a friend. Girls were super sensitive. When they heard Lin Xian say the word friend, they instinctively thought that it was a girl. It mainly depended on the person. Lin Xian had given them such a persona. He only had female friends and no male friends. Speaking of which, other than Wang Fugui, Lin Xian didn't seem to have any male friends. This was too exaggerated. Why was he so comfortable with it? Was it because he had too many girls around him that he didn't even have the heart to make male friends? It seemed so. All right, then I'll go in with Yi. Lu Yufan waved her hand, and then held Yi Yi's arm as they walked in. Phew, Lin Xian took a deep breath. It was over. He suddenly realized something. Wang Xintong was also coming, and Lin Xian had given them a row of seats that were very close to each other. If they talked about themselves and revealed that they were Lin Xian's girlfriends, then wouldn't Lin Xian win? That couldn't be right. Because Wang Xintong wasn't familiar with them. Did they know each other? Lin Xian could only pray. In front of him, there were two women wearing caps with their heads lowered. Their footsteps were slightly hurried as they walked towards him. It felt like they were two criminals. Lin Xian didn't recognize them at first because they had lowered their heads and were wearing caps. However, this fragrance. Hey, Xiao Linglong, little icy. Chapter 299. The two girls stopped in their tracks and looked at Lin Xian. I say, can you two stop acting like criminals? Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. The two of them were like the villains in those detective dramas, who could hide themselves and enter public places. This wasn't what made Lin Xian laugh. What really made Lin Xian laugh was that they were too cute. Two beauties of this level, in this unfamiliar environment, were behaving in a completely different way from their status and temperament. It was fine if one didn't know. The main thing was that Lin Xian knew who they were, and didn't feel that they were doing anything silly. However, compared to their status and temperament, their behavior seemed silly and cute. Didn't you say to wear a cap? Linglong Shui retorted. Okay. My pod, okay? Let's go. I'll bring you to your seats first. Then, Lin Xian led the two girls through the crowd. Lin Xian realized that he really was an idiot. At that time, in order to save trouble, he had reserved seats for them from the front to the back. He only considered the best place to watch and forgot that something might happen if they met. However, This was according to the order of each class. If he didn't bring them to their previous seats, they wouldn't have a good viewing experience. Lin Xian was still thinking for them. Forget it. We'll meet them sooner or later. Also, little Miao Miao and little Ying will know each other. They can be the middleman. Lin Xian calculated in his heart. Let me tell you first. Later, the girls next to you are all my friends. Even if you don't want to know them, for my sake, don't ignore them, okay? For your sake. Will it work? Ling Longshui said. Lin Xian realized that this girl was used to teasing him. Okay. Then I'm begging you, okay? Begging this sovereign. Ling Longshui said proudly. She was probably unhappy that Lin Xian had tainted her innocence. She could only vent her anger like this. Because she couldn't kill Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Big sis, I'm serious. Bing Lingyue said slowly. Ling Long is joking. Don't worry. Little Icy is still the best. I love you. Achoo. Everyone around couldn't help but sneeze as their bodies trembled. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. This empress couldn't be teased either. I won't say anything, okay? Lin Xian shrugged helplessly and led them to the reserved seats. Over there, Lu Yufan, Linya, and Xiao Runing were sitting together. Of course, Ling Ying was also there. He did not need to appear for the time being, and had more than an hour to watch the show. You guys sit here. Then, Bing Lingyue and Ling Longshui sat directly behind Linya and the rest. The few girls in front turned their heads and looked at Lin Xian first. After that, their attention was all on them. Ling Ying had seen them before. Although they were wearing caps now, he could still see their faces. Lu Yufan, Linya, and the rest were stunned. So beautiful. Little fairy, they are my friends, Bing Lingyue and Ling Longshui. This is my sister Linya. This is my teacher Xiao Runing. This is my friend Lu Yufan. You know this one. I'll be leaving first. After introducing Lin Xian, he left as if he was escaping. He hoped that they could be more peaceful. It was not suitable for him to stay there. Lin Xian's sister teacher? Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue were slightly stunned. That was a very important person to Lin Xian. They could be lawless, but of course, they understood the ways of the world. Hi. Hello. Ling Longshui couldn't get used to it and said. Really, she had never said anything like, how are you guys? In her entire life. This was the first time. Bing Lingyue too. They were also surprised. There were so many beautiful girls around Lin Xian. All of them. Linya and the rest were even more surprised. Lin Xian's two friends were too beautiful. Although they acted very normal, and tried their best to act normal, their temperament could not be hidden. This temperament even surprised them. What kind of family did they come from to have such temperament? Linya then turned around and gently held Ling Longshui's slender hand. She smiled and said, Little Xian's friends are our best friends. Isn't it hot here? You can take off your cap. Ling Longshui was slightly stunned. Then she said, He doesn't want me to take it off. She did not understand why she listened to Lin Xian so much. Perhaps it was because of her ignorance. But she just felt that Lin Xian's words were not harmful to them. Ugh! If they took off their caps, their beauty would be more obvious. However, if they wore it, it would give them a different style. If they took it off, their noble temperament could not be hidden. This was because they were completely presented here. No matter how they tried to hide it, their temperament could not be hidden. Xiao Runing and Lu Yufan's inner monologues were inexplicably the same at this moment. Lin Xian had not appeared in the Sky Martial Court for a few days, because he had gone to flirt with girls of this level. Damn it! Achoo! Lin Xian rubbed his nose. Was someone thinking about him? Then, the system notification of the girl's unhappiness and jealousy appeared in his mind. No, Wang Xintong can't be with them even if I die. I'll explode. He had just received a call from Wang Xintong, and then a call from Miao Xiaomiao came. The two of them did not know each other, but they were standing very close to each other because of fate. Lin Xian. Wang Xintong ran over happily when she saw Lin Xian. Miao Xiaomiao and Wang Qianqian naturally saw Lin Xian as well. Just as they were about to greet him, they saw a beautiful girl running over happily. They were slightly stunned. Bastard! Ding! Since Miao Xiaomiao's jealousy. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Ahem. Lin Xian coughed dryly. Then, he brought Wang Xintong to Miao Xiaomiao and Wang Qianqian and introduced them to each other. It was a strange feeling. People who were so close to each other did not know each other, but they were all Lin Xian's friends. Sister Qianqian, the three of you can stay together for now. I'll arrange your seats. I'll have to trouble you later. Lin Xian said. No problem, but don't I need to rehearse? Wang Qianqian asked. No, it's very simple. You just need to freeze the stage. Do you want it to snow? I can use the wind attribute and Sister Qianqian's ice crystals to create a scene of snow. Miao Xiaomiao asked curiously. Someone will create snow if it snows. That won't be necessary. All right. Then Lin Xian brought the three of them to the studio. Not far away, a girl wearing a simple white jacket saw this scene. Her attention was mainly on Lin Xian. Han Chuxue frowned slightly. She could only see the side of his face. This side of his face was similar to the side of his face when he turned and ran away that night. Chapter 300. Han Chuxue thought it might be a coincidence, so she didn't think too much about it. She walked inside. Lin Xian led them to a seat about 10 meters away from Linya. However, there were a few rows of people in between, so it was impossible for them to bump into each other. Damn! Lin Xian was stunned when he turned around. What was going on? Why was Linya sitting between Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue? Moreover, he was holding each of their hands in one hand, chatting and laughing with them. The reason why he could see them smiling was because they would look at each other from the side when they were talking. Lin Xian could only see the side of their faces, so he could naturally tell if they were smiling or not. Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue were also smiling. What the hell? Was this a professional smile or a genuine smile? Come to my house for dinner when you have time. I'll cook for you. Linya said with a smile. Linya couldn't tell who was older between Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue. Therefore, she didn't call herself older. She only felt that these two girls were too beautiful, and their auras were too noble. If they could get together with Lin Xian, it would be a wonderful thing. Can I? Linglong Shui asked tentatively. She realized that she liked this kind of ordinary life. She even tried to get used to it and make friends. Moreover, Linya gave her a very good feeling. Of course. You are little Xian's friends, so you are my good friends. Linya said with a smile. Okay. By the way, Linglong Lingyue, how old are you? Linya could tell how old they were. She felt that they were older than her, but she couldn't tell. 1,100. Linglong Shui was about to say her age when she realized something. She had lived for more than 1,000 years. However, a void fox had a lifespan of 1,000 years, even if she didn't have any cultivation. She couldn't be treated like a normal human. 223. Linglong Shui said. 23. I'm also 23 years old. I'll be 24 soon. I should be older than you, right? Linglong Shui nodded slightly. Xiao Runing knew Linya's painstaking efforts to find a girlfriend for Lin Xian. But Lin Xian didn't lack a girlfriend. She was used to it. But Lu Yufan was unhappy. Jealous. Sob sob sob. Ling Ying. How should I put it? I'm already used to it. Where is Ling Yu? Ben. I'm also 23. They were very smart. Although they hadn't adapted to this era, they knew that telling the truth would cause a lot of trouble. Ahaha, that little fairy, why are you sitting with them? Miss Xiao is in the front row waiting for you to chat. Lin Xian hurried over and said. It's all right. Linglong Shui said gently. Lin Xian's mouth was wide open. What the F***? You're Linglong Shui? Who are you? Hurry up and leave her body. Really? Linya had a magical power that could make all kinds of girls gentle. No, to be precise, it might be because of Lin Xian, because they knew that Linya was Lin Xian's older sister. Xiao Runing also smiled. It's alright, we're all friends. Besides, I can chat with them too. Lin Xian swallowed a mouthful of saliva. I'm leaving. It wasn't good to stay here for long. He'd better go sit with Miao Xiaomiao and the others. Then you have to call me Big Sister Linya. Linya smiled. To have Linglong Shui, who had lived for more than 1,000 years, and was at the virtuality realm, call her Big Sister. If it was anyone else, she would have died already. However, Big sister Linya. If Lin Xian was here, he would kneel down to Linya. Big sister, you're the best. Big sister Linya, this is for you. A purple fruit appeared in Linglong Shue's hand, and she handed it to Linya. This is? Eat it when there's no one around. It's good for your body. Really? Linglong Shui didn't know why. Why was she willing to call Linya big sister? Why was it that when Linya was around, she seemed to become a different person? She forgot her identity and her strength. She didn't even know. She didn't even realize it. She even felt that they were getting along very well. Was it because she felt comfortable making friends? Or was she Lin Xian's big sister? Actually, it was both. Somehow, Lin Xian's position in her heart had become deeply rooted. Even if Lin Xian disappeared from her world forever, she would never forget Lin Xian. She might even not get used to it. She might have already fallen in love with a sloppy lecher who always made her want to beat him up. There was a saying that went, "A woman dresses up for the one she loves." However, this saying also extended to another realm. In front of someone you like, or care about, or someone special, a person, regardless of whether it was a man or a woman, would definitely present a different aspect. Of course, if you like someone, after confirming their relationship, it wouldn't be so accurate. But if you don't have a confirmed relationship, it would definitely be accurate. Look at Ling Ying and Lu Yufan. They were so obedient in front of Linya. Ling Ying was super obedient and took the initiative to cook. But with the innocent Lin Xian, she kept saying that she was hungry and asked Lin Xian to cook for her. This was the difference. Maybe Linglong Shui was the same. Lin Xian had a special meaning to her. Knowing that Linya was Lin Xian's big sister, she would also treat her special. As for Bing Lingyue, of course, she didn't like Lin Xian. However, she was obedient because of Linglong Shui. In many aspects, she did things based on Linglong Shui. If Linglong Shui hated someone, she would kill that person without a second thought. Linglong Shui was obedient in front of Linya, so she had to be obedient too. Why don't you let us sit with your sister? Big sister Ling Ying is there. Big sister Ning Ning is there too. Why don't you let me go? After Lin Xian sat down, Miao Xiao Miao looked at Lin Xian unhappily. Lin Xian had a headache. Outsiders only saw that he had many beautiful girls around him. However, when there were many beautiful girls around him, trouble came with it. You're just a little kid. You don't understand. Firstly, my IQ is higher than yours. Secondly, I'm not young anymore. Miao Xiao Miao puffed out her chest in defiance. She didn't know if it was subconscious or not. Alright. It's useless no matter how hard you try. Miao Xiao Miao was speechless. Then she went crazy. Hey. Image. There are tens of thousands of people here. Lin Xian quickly said. Miao Xiao Miao looked at the people around her and let go of her hand. Lin Xian then explained. It's not that I don't want you to go. It's just that it's not convenient. Why is it not convenient? Miao Xiao Miao asked. Wang Xintong glanced at Lin Xian. She might have guessed something. She wasn't stupid. It was hard to say if this girlfriend of hers was the only one. However, she felt that it wasn't bad to be able to accompany him. She pretended to be stupid. Perhaps it was smart of her not to expose him. Lin Xian had a headache. As expected, it wasn't easy to be a scumbag. Chapter 301. Look, there are so many people over there, and you don't know them. It'll be troublesome if you go. Lin Xian didn't know what he was saying anymore. First, I know them. Second, what's the trouble? There are still empty seats over there. Okay. Go ahead. Lin Xian said helplessly. It didn't matter if Miao Xiao Miao went. Miao Xiao Miao snorted proudly and walked over. She knew Xiao Runing and Ling Ying, so she had a reason to go. Sister Qianqian, you're not going? Wang Qianqian smiled and said. I'm not going. I don't know them. Tong, where are you? I'm not going either. I'll stay here and chat with Sister Qianqian. Wang Xintong said with a smile. But how should she put it? She didn't feel comfortable. She wasn't stupid. Why didn't Lin Xian let her go in the beginning? It must be because it wasn't convenient. There were only girls over there. How could it be inconvenient? It must be because it wasn't convenient for her. She was Lin Xian's girlfriend. Either one of the girls over there was Lin Xian's girlfriend, or Lin Xian didn't want her identity to be known and affect him from picking up girls in the future. Anyway, that was what Wang Xintong thought. He was a real scumbag. She guessed right. Lin Xian was really like that. He was afraid that Wang Xintong, Ling Ying, and Lu Yufan would meet and talk about him for no reason. If that happened, he would collapse. Although Wang Xintong felt wronged, and felt that it was indeed Lin Xian's fault, she wouldn't say it out loud. Unless they met face to face and Lin Xian saw her. Then she would say it out loud. Because she felt that this was quite good. She didn't know anything. Lin Xian was also very good to her. If Lin Xian was really a scumbag, he would have pushed her down a few times and wouldn't have stopped. Wang Xintong comforted herself like this. Alright, I won't go either. I'll stay here with you. Lin Xian grinned. He wanted to go but he couldn't. That was a forbidden area. On the other hand, the attention attracted by this group of beautiful women was self-evident. But it was still okay. After all, they were here and only a group of people who were very close to them could see them. Therefore, the commotion wasn't that big. Moreover, Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue were inexplicably obedient to Lin Xian. They hadn't even taken off their caps yet. Basically, all the students had already taken their seats. The instructors from the Sky Martial Court and the Tianhua Academy had also arrived. Of course, their position was also the best, not far in front of Linya and the others. The banquet started at 7 p.m. sharp. It was now 6:50 p.m. The dean of the Sky Martial Court, Chen Yiba, walked up the stage and gave a speech for about 5 minutes. After that, the lights in the hall went out, and the surroundings were plunged into darkness. Only the huge stage had a faint flickering light. Click! 2 spotlights shone on both sides of the stage. Then 2 figures slowly walked out. Yi Yi and Qin Xiaotian. Wow! Instantly screams, applause and cheers came from the crowd. Regardless of whether it was Qin Xiaotian or Yi Yi, they were both influential figures in the Tianhua Academy. One was one of the most powerful experts, the other was one of the most beautiful girls in the academy. It was normal for them to have such cheers. Yi is very beautiful today, Wang Xintong said softly beside Lin Xian. They could only be said to know each other. However, they weren't good friends, because they didn't have much interaction. Yes, Yi Yi was wearing a white evening gown for such an occasion. She was also tall, and could afford to wear such an evening gown. Perhaps the only flaw was that she was still a little immature. In another 2 years, she would definitely be even more beautiful. As for Qin Xiaotian, he was dressed in a suit and leather shoes. He looked quite human. After the applause and cheers died down, Qin Xiaotian and Yi Yi began the normal opening of the banquet. Then, one after another, they started to perform. Isn't that Han Chuxue here? Isn't she nearby? Lin Xian looked around curiously. He had seen photos of Han Chuxue before. However, all he could see was her back. Logically speaking, she should be sitting with Ling Ying. However, Ling Ying and Lin Yu were sitting together. Lin Xian didn't see a particularly beautiful figure there. On the other hand, Linya, Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue were chatting happily. Linya was simply too satisfied with them. They were beautiful, elegant and well-mannered. Their speech and actions were very elegant. She didn't know where Lin Xian had met such beautiful girls. Ling Longshui was even more abnormal. She smiled and chatted with Linya the whole time. Lin Xian had known Ling Longshui for a short period of time. He had spent a lot of time with her, but he had never seen her smile. However, when she was with Linya, she actually smiled so much. Lin Xian expressed that he didn't know how beautiful Ling Longshui was when she smiled. He really wanted to see it once. However, he only saw the side of her face every time. Ling Longshui. How should she put it? She really didn't understand why she had changed. Was it because of Lin Xian? She wasn't sure. Anyway, she only knew one thing. She liked the feeling of being with Linya. She liked the feeling of being with her. It made her feel relaxed. There were no more things that troubled her. She was even willing to talk to Linya about things or experiences that she found interesting. She felt that maybe this was the kind of friend that Bing Lingyue was talking about. She and Bing Lingyue were friends, but with Linya, they should be considered friends, right? Sister Linya, are we friends? Ling Longshui glanced at Lin Ye and asked. On the stage, a few beautiful girls were singing and dancing. Lin Ye nodded, of course. This is what friends are like. Ling Longshui's lips curled up slightly. Not bad. That's right. She liked this feeling. She only regretted one thing now. Why didn't she come to live in the human world earlier? The human world, the interactions between humans, and the various things in the human world were so interesting. Of course, there were bad people here, but she felt that there were more good people. And the interactions between monsters? It was very scary. She was neutral, so it was fine. No, to be precise, she was strong enough to avoid some things. However, the monsters in the lower levels might get along well with each other. But who knew that they all had thoughts of killing each other and taking the treasures of the other? This was a monster. Between monsters, besides being close to each other, it was more of a mutual benefit. They might have to worry about being stabbed in the back. Humans might be worried too, but it was definitely not as scary as monsters. For a moment, she even wanted to stand on the side of the humans, because she didn't want such a beautiful scene to be destroyed in a war between different races. But she couldn't do it. The Void Fox was strong in the absolute realm, but she couldn't go against the entire monster race and the Myriad Monster Alliance. Chapter 302. Lin Xian saw that Ling Ying left his seat and went to a corner. The corner was close to the front, but because it was at the edge, no one sat there. However, there was a girl in a white coat sitting there alone. Many people noticed her, but no one went over. Why don't you sit in the middle? Ling Ying sat next to Han Chuxue and asked with a smile. It's all the same. Han Chuxue replied faintly. Go, I'll introduce you to some friends. Han Chuxue shook her head. No need. She didn't like to make friends. To be precise, it wasn't that she didn't like it, but with her personality, she didn't want to make friends. Who didn't want to have a lot of friends? You're still not going on stage. Why? You're leaving after watching? Ling Ying asked with a smile. Han Chuxue nodded. Then you'll have to watch until the end, because my performance is the finale. Han Chuxue didn't have much of a reaction. I heard that you're acting in a musical with a guy. When Ling Ying invited Han Chuxue to watch, he only said that she had a performance, but he didn't tell her what she was going to perform, or how many people she was going to perform with. Han Chuxue only knew about it when she heard other people's discussions. Yeah, you know him, that Lin Xian. Ling Ying said. I don't know him. Han Chuxue shook her head slightly. Let's go, I'll introduce you to him. Although this person is quite an idiot, he's still quite good. If Lin Xian was here, he would definitely be unhappy. You idiot, your whole family is idiots. F***ck. Of course, Ling Ying didn't mean to scold Lin Xian. Not interested. But why are you so close to a guy? Suddenly, Han Chuxue remembered that day at Ling Ying's house. She saw something bad in the trash can. Could it be that it was that Lin Xian? That shouldn't be possible, right? However, Lin Xian's reputation in Tianhua City had been growing recently. First, he had saved dozens of people from the Sky Marshal Court. Then, he had the space attribute. Later, he had saved many people from Linfeng City. Needless to say, he was outstanding. Han Chuxue was also slightly surprised, but she was not interested, because her heart already belonged to someone else. Although that person was already dead and had changed her, it was still difficult for her to get over it in a short period of time. Ahahaha, making friends. Ling Ying laughed. Han Chuxue also knew Ling Ying very well, just like how Ling Ying knew Han Chuxue. That's right, Ling Ying did like to make friends, but to be honest, they were only true friends. There weren't many other good friends, let alone making friends with a boy. Even acting in a show with a boy was something that Han Chuxue felt was impossible. It must be an extraordinary relationship for this to happen. It had to be said that Han Chuxue really knew Ling Ying. You're my friend, and so is Lin Xian. Do you think it's wrong for me to introduce you to each other? If you don't get to know him, you're not giving me face. Ling Ying also didn't understand why he wanted to introduce her boyfriend to her best friend. Wasn't she afraid that something would happen between them? Of course, he wasn't afraid. He knew Han Chuxue too well. It was impossible for anything to happen between her and Lin Xian. Moreover, Han Chushua's heart was now firmly locked by the man who died for her. It was even more impossible for anything to happen between them. Perhaps Ling Ying introduced them to each other, because he felt that Lin Xian's flamboyant personality might have a good influence on Han Chushua. It might even help her walk out of the haze. No way, Han Chushua said decisively. Ling Ying. How boring. Sigh. You'll be a widow for the rest of your life. Ling Ying sighed. Han Chushua didn't respond. Hey, I say, what's the point of liking a dead person? Ling Ying couldn't stand Han Chushua anymore. He couldn't help but raise his voice. They had argued about this countless times. Ling Ying understood Han Chushua's feelings, but he felt that it wasn't worth it for her. Based on what? I don't know. You're avoiding it again. Ling Ying shook his head secretly. She always used I don't know to avoid this question. Perhaps Han Chushua really didn't know. Forget it. You can just stand here and wait. Ling Ying walked away angrily. After about half an hour, Lin Xian and Ling Ying went backstage to change. Sister Qianqian, we should go now. Lin Xian received Ling Ying's message and said to Wang Qianqian. Okay. Lin Xian glanced at Wang Xintong and said, why don't you go sit with Fan Fan and the others? Wang Xintong smiled and shook her head. No need. I'll just sit here. Okay then, I'll go first. Good luck. Then, Lin Xian brought Wang Qianqian backstage. Ling Ying had already changed into her costume backstage. She was wearing a blue and white ancient dress. It was really beautiful. She was putting on makeup under the hands of the makeup artist. Actually, with her talent, she could do without makeup. However, if she put on some makeup and tied up her hair, the effect would be better. Lin Xian and Wang Qianqian had already decided on the time, at which point in the song, she needed to change the scene into a world of ice and snow, at which point, she needed to cancel the power of ice and snow. It was very simple, and didn't require too much manipulation. There was a skit going on in front of the stage. It was about 10 minutes long, so Yi Yi and Qin Xiaotian had time to take a break. Senior Ling Ying, you're so beautiful. Yi Yi couldn't help but say enviously when she saw Ling Ying's appearance. You're very beautiful too, Ling Ying said with a smile as the makeup artist did her makeup. What about me? Lin Xian looked at Yi Yi and asked. Why aren't you changing? Yi Yi looked at Lin Xian and whispered. It's easy. Just put it on. Then Lin Xian took his clothes and took off his jacket and pants on the spot. Hey. Are you a hooligan? There's no changing room. Ling Ying really couldn't stand Lin Xian, this bastard. There were still many people around. It's fine. It's not like I'm empty inside. Lin Xian quickly changed into his costume. He was wearing a white ancient dress with a sword at his waist and a fan in his hand. He indeed looked a little like a human. Come over and put on some makeup. Another makeup artist said with a smile. I also need to put on makeup. I feel that I'm quite a natural beauty. I beg of you. Don't be so confident, okay? Ling Ying said helplessly. Lin Xian, Yi Yi, who was beside him, held back her laughter. You also need to put on a wig, the makeup artist said with a smile. All right. Lin Xian swore that this was definitely the only time he would put on makeup. Qin Xiaotian walked over. His first attention was on Wang Qianqian, who was beside him. Wang Qianqian naturally saw Qin Xiaotian and knew that he was the target. However, she didn't give him a second look. Otherwise, it would be troublesome if he became suspicious. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.